My shoulders are popping all over the place. Okay. Set. I gotta pop out the chat. What else do I have to do? I'm behind. What am I doing here? Yep. That one. Okay. Um, Hello. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Hi, Luca. See if I can get myself together and get going this morning. Oh, that's what I needed to do. Hadn't done that yet. Okay. We're gonna try this layout. See if it does any better. For being able to show videos and stuff. That's what we're gonna do. It does, it looks pretty good. I'm ginormous, which I don't like, but everybody else might like it. I don't like how ginormous I am, but it's okay. Good morning, Fender. All right, let's get music started. I can't look at myself. I don't like this. Okay. Is that muted so that they can't hear it? Yep. And they tell me to breathe easy for a while. Even I know that. There's someone here who loves giant women for sure. Well, I'm not big. I'm just big on the screen. Not that it would matter if I was. Hi, Sparky. It's not what I meant. Blank stares at blank pages. You mean well. I'm not gonna write you a love song, 'cause you ask for it, 'cause you need one. You see, yes, we time traveled. Was it 16 years ago? It's even worse. To stay. Hello. It's even better if you know the lore. Thank you so much. Look how big the crab is now. It's even better if you know the lore of this song, because it was literally the record label was like, "Hey, can you write something like a love song that's more like poppy?" And she was like, "No." Double the crabs. Thank you. You are not who I thought you were. Hello to high and dry. To please you, that I need this too. Oh, I knew that. Our Baron, I knew he was going to be confirmed. Yeah. 12-10. That's not the vote count. There's no way. It's probably on party lines, though, for sure. You'll leave the light on. me see. They don't put these in order one day. I believe there's a way. 'Cause I say I won't write you a love song. 'Cause you ask for it. 'Cause you need one. You see. Let's make sure we're tapping. Get going. Make or break in it. Not what you wanted, a love song. 'Cause you ask for it. 'Cause you need one. You see. To stay. I don't. You must be in love with Trump. You talk around a lot. What? You want to try that again? This song went number 1 in the back of my mom's minivan. Love it. Love Sarah Bareilles. If you don't know Sarah Bareilles, yes, that song fantastic, but that song was a giant fuck you to her record label. So look up other songs from her because she's absolutely brilliant. But we will get started this morning. Good morning, everyone, no matter what woke time zone that you are in. I appreciate you guys being here. Yes, the layout is new. I was trying to mitigate the issues with videos and gifting, which means I'm ginormous. Hi. I hate this. If you're watching on TikTok, please tap that screen for me. I would appreciate it. We like to hit 100,000 likes before the top of the hour now. That is what I'm going to tell you. It's 100,000 likes before the top of the hour. So make sure you're hitting that tap screen. Fill out that bar down here on the bottom. I would appreciate it. Repost right now. Share the live out. Repost it right now before we actually get started going. And add it to your story. Share it to 5 of your friends. Let's get this TikTok live pushed out onto the algorithm. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would appreciate it so much. I see you guys knocked out the roses, knocked out the chili pepper. So now we have Biden's ice cream cones that we could get accomplished. By the way, don't forget my gift gallery, guys. I know it's only, hey, titties out Tuesday, but we have, I can count. No, I can't. We have some more gifts left over. If you click on my profile picture up at the top and hit the C4 gift gallery, the ones that are grayed out are not lit up. Let's make sure if you have some extra TikTok change that we light those gifts up before the end of the week. That would be fucking fantastic. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you. If you're watching over on YouTube, oh no, I'm not done with TikTok. I'm not done with you. Daily Heart Me. Do your Daily Heart Me if you have not done so. I would appreciate it so much. That little heart, obviously, right next to my name because you're following me already, gives you access to stickers in the chat that we like to use over here in this community. So why not do that? If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. Naquan, that's wild. I hope you know that Blue is a mod in this space, so that's gonna go well for you today, Naquan. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. I would really appreciate it. Share the live out in any ways that you can because I do go into this wanting to have conversations. Guys, my call number is now up at the top. It's not an actual image. It's just the number that is listed up there. So we can have conversations based off of factually based evidence and not your feelings as we run the show today. You can subscribe. You can become a member. You can send jewels and you can send super chats. If you have a message you would like me to read and the chat's going by too fast, but you want to ensure that I read it, super chats are the way to do that by sending those to me. Hello, my lovelies over on Twitch. Good morning. Yami, Dark Eagle, Kilo, Surgeon, and Dragon's Celt. I see you guys over there. If you're watching and lurking, hello as well. If you would please follow me, I would appreciate it. You can also subscribe over there. Gives you access to emotes in the chat that are similar to the ones over here on TikTok. Yeah. If you pay for Prime, Jeff Bezos gives you 1 free Prime sub a month. Sub a month. Why not use it on me? Guys, as we continue, as always, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. So let's work on this goal. 150 in my goal for 3 hours. It's about $50 an hour. Let's start working on it. We crowdfund here to pay for women's labor in this space. So $1 train, $2 train, $5 train, however we can scrounge up that coinage together to get that goal accomplished. This is my job. So let's make sure we pay me. Yes, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio across all 3 platforms. Okay. Shall we get started this morning? Let me reset this, and then yes. There they are. Oh, they weren't hard to find this time. That's so happy for me. Gosh. We all know how I struggle with the gift gallery as well. Thank you, by the way. Thank you to Chicky and Peter for giving me double the crabs this morning. We do love every single day that I can catch crabs. We do love that. All right, so I'm going to call this my breaking news section. We're going to go over the cabinet meeting that Donald Trump had yesterday in here. So let's start with some stuff that he said about Iran. I have a couple videos on that. Once again, the markets are doing better. The oil markets are doing better because we're not getting active alerts about bombing. However, Donald Trump is saying that we're having talks with Iran. Iran is disputing this. Iran is saying we're done talking. We are not talking to you. We've come to the table multiple times, and it is only ending in our people being hurt, not any actual kind of resolution. And yet you're still saying we're talking. So, do you live in the Springs now? the ellipses proves to me that that's, yeah. They're denying it. I don't know where he's saying that they're not denying it now. Iran is still denying that they're having conversations with anybody from the Trump administration. Does that mean that they're not, does it mean they don't have communications in some way? Yeah, there's probably a little bit of communication, but they said, we are not in, negotiative talks right now. That is not happening. And Donald Trump wants to say that they are. Okay, sure. Other little piece that I had is, as I showed you yesterday, his clips on saying that we were going to have a attack never as big as World War II. Pete Hegseth has repeated it. Now Scott Bessent this morning, the Secretary of the Treasury, has gone on and repeated it as well onto the news this morning. So they've asked him, though, okay, well, this is the 5th time that you've they don't say that, but this is the 5th time that you've turned around on what you said you were going to do. What is your message to the people about the fact that you don't know your head from your ass? What's your plan to describe that? What changed this time? I don't know. You don't know? What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? We'll see what happens is not how we should be describing war. A war that you started. You should probably have sorry, YouTube and Twitch. I'm sorry. I always forget. I need a sticky note. I need to put a sticky note somewhere so that I can remember to do it. And I'll still forget. Sorry. I fix it. Here, you want to hear him say that dumb shit?
Has changed this time. Why should it be any different?
Well, you don't know. I don't know. I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give him every last chance before decapitation. It's very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens. But it's a very, very tough thing to do. I think I'm very proud of the fact that I'll give people a chance. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it.
Now, what's annoying is the we'll see. Well, the we'll see aspect, again, on a war that he chose to start with Israel. That's a problem for me. We'll see is what I do, what I did a couple months ago when I went to the Renaissance Fair with my brothers, and we didn't have a set plan. We knew we were going to the Renaissance Fair, we knew we were getting a goddamn turkey leg, and we knew we were seeing Jacques the Whipper. That was the extent of our plan. And then everything else was, well, we'll see. Maybe we'll walk the shops, maybe we'll see the jousting event, we'll see. That's what you do when your day is not planned, not when the fucking war you started is in the midst of happening. You don't say, well, we'll see what happens, I don't know.
already through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large. Hopefully they'll
I did see the whip guy, Jacques the Whipper. Yes, I did see him. He comes to Renaissance Fair here every year.
come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal. That's the real truth. And
Wait, I missed that. Before I do that, I want to do this before I lose it. Thank you so much, James, for the 2. You said Star Wars Cookie Wars sequel, please. That is a very, very old video that I still have on my YouTube page that I did with my brothers when we were very, very young. I would have to figure out what plot line in Star Wars we should do for a Cookie Wars sequel, but thank you. What? Where did he say that? Because I missed it.
hopefully they'll come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal. That's the real truth, and everyone knows it. And who wouldn't call?
I have to go back further. I'm sorry. What did it?
See what happens. But it's a very, very tough thing to do. I think I'm very proud of the fact that I'll give people a chance. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it. Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large.
Oh my God!
hopefully-
What does that mean? Normal large. That's what Melania told him it looked like. Yeah, it's like, it's large. It's like, but not like large, it's like normal large. Extra medium. It's, it's not about the size, it's about the motion of the ocean. It's like normal large. Like what? Is that, listen, I've been with my husband since we were 19, so we got to avoid, which is why he's trapped now. We got to avoid the online dating shit. Is that what happens on Tinder? Is that something that you guys are describing your cuckoos as normal large? Is that what it's the same thing as the ceasefire means moderately firing in the Middle East, as if ceasefire has a different definition in terms of war depending on the region you're in. That's silly. What are we talking about here?
They'll come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal.
Okay.
That's the real truth, and everyone knows it. And who wouldn't call? And they found out through leaks and sleazebags, a lot of sleazebags, leakers. Leakers should be put in jail. They have to strengthen up the laws for leakers.
No, because the law for leakers is as long as the information isn't espionage in some way or harmful to the national security of the country, that's just free press. That's just the First Amendment. See how much he hates the Constitution? He hates the First Amendment probably more than anybody I've ever seen. Sleaze leakers, says the guy wearing a diaper. Yeah.
But in this case,
allegedly,
leakers helped, because they said the severity of the attack, and Iran knew it. They knew what was coming. It was going to come last night, and it would have gone on for a long time, and there'd be essentially very little left. There'd be nothing left. And if I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live, I want to give that chance. So I'm under no time.
It's terrifying that he says it like he's the Roman emperor deciding this. That's gross. If I have the chance to have a lot of people live, you could have if you would have just not caused this war. Then we wouldn't have had this problem. 18 service members wouldn't have been dead. But you're over here giving me the fucking thumbs up, thumbs down. Who the fuck does he think he is?
I don't happen to be running, but a lot of very good Republicans are running.
My God. I don't happen to be running. Yeah, because you can't. What are we talking about? What are you talking about? My word. My goodness. Now I would like to ask, what the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is he talking about?
I said it the other day, and it maybe doesn't sound that important, but when a country...
Jeffrey, are you talking to me or are you talking to Trump? Also, you used the wrong use of your. Every day. Every single day. What am I terrified of? The entire Republican Party's platform is fear-mongering. And telling you to shut up about the things that you feel in your pocket. Everything's fine. Glaze Trump's taint. Don't talk about the bad, but if we talk about bad, it is going to be how brown, black people and trans people are hurting you. Like, it's literally fear-mongering every single day in that party. What platform do they have other than that? Anyway, you want to talk about Democratic cities? Square this circle.
Goes bad. Like, look at the blue cities. What do they have in common, aside from massive crime? Much more crime. The Republicans have very little crime. But what are the blue cities?
Can somebody name me a red city? And then find the crime rate. Can somebody name me a red city? I'd like to see.
Have in mind. And also you can say this with nations.
Normal, more crime. Normal, large crime. That's how I'm...
When they go bad. The blue cities have something in common. Crime. High crime. Vicious, violent crime. But what do they have in common? They're all...
Alabama's a state, James, so it's not a city. So, like, what's a red city? Memphis is not red. It might be now because they gerrymandered the fuck out of it, but Memphis is not red.
All dirty. They're filthy dirty. Their streets are dirty. Their streets smell. Their storefronts are broken. Their trees are all gross.
The trees are gross. The trees in Seattle are gross. The trees in Denver are gross. I don't know. I don't know. Well, to be fair, Blue, which, by the way, everybody wish Blue a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Blue. Happy birthday to you. We love you. We love you, Blue. It was a friendly. A friendly did say that, to be fair. But everybody wish Blue a happy birthday. But I want to understand why the trees are gross. I want to understand why the trees are gross. Well, bruh, you said the trees are ugly. I mean, sure, they're fugly sluts is insanity. But, like, I just want to understand how the trees are gross. What are we talking about here? Like, wild.
Are broken. Their trees are all gross. Everything about the place is dirty. And I don't want to mention any specific city.
Thank you so much, Ari. Ari said, Dallas has a Republican mayor and has a higher crime rate than the national average. Well, you know, but it's those it's those blue cities. It's the blue cities and our gross trees. You know, I don't know what it is now, but I know that a few years ago, wasn't Seattle one of the cleanest cities in America? Like, Seattle was one of the cleanest cities in America. I don't know if that's changed, but what are we talking about here?
It's really all of them. But you go into these cities that are blue, they're crime-ridden, and they're filthy dirty. They're like Washington, D.C. was a year and a half ago with graffiti.
Well, apparently it's still dirty and filthy because you fucked up the reflecting pool, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to read a message real quick and then we'll get to this portion. Again, a lot of it is like stuff that's kind of thrown in and then we get to a little bit more of a cohesive. It's hard to make him cohesive to fit my outline, so it's an issue. W's to Kelly for the 25. You said for women's labor. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate you. And thank you, Luca, for the 20. You said boyfriend raised my allowance. I can donate again. W's. I love those kind of relationships. I have a marriage just like that. So W's to Kelly and to Luca. It's not going to take. It's shh. That would be. Yep. See? I did it in my head. Look, I can do these things. I have to show you guys, actually, real quick. This is a complete non sequitur into anything. But I have to show you. So a friend of ours in the community made this for me for when I do math. Thank you so much for this, DJ. I appreciate you for embarrassing me, because we've seen me do math. That's a thing that happens. So thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Continuing on. I know, Ari, I know. They said they built it. I don't know what they built it from, but they said they built it. I was going to show it. I wasn't going to use it. So we kind of are getting onto the anti-weaponization fund and how it's dead, but not dead. And so Donald Trump is not happy about it, though.
And they terminated the settlement in Washington, and they went after me. And what they did here was frankly, if you talk about reparations or if you talk about payment, what they did to me, I had a very good case against them. So
Trump thinks he deserves reparations. I don't. He didn't have a good case. That's the thing that he does. This is the thing that Donald Trump does. He starts a case where he eventually drops it or gets a settlement, which, by the way, is not a win. And then he says, like, I had a very good case. We don't know that because we didn't get a chance for it to be dismissed or dropped or find the final outcome. So no, you can't say that you had a very good case because you used it. You used your case and you used the judicial system so that you and your cronies, Frank Bisignano within the IRS, could come up with this slush fund. That's what happened. And more importantly, to exempt you from tax audits retroactively. So as I talked about yesterday, the Anti-Weaponization Fund, Todd Blanche, signed a letter saying that it is rescinded. He rescinded the order establishing the fund. Now, as I pointed out, the settlement document itself that says any modification to the settlement has to be agreed upon and signed by all parties. This is just a Todd Blanche letter, so we do not have Frank Bisignano from the IRS's signature, and we do not have Donald Trump, who was the party who was suing's signature. So it leaves it open. Even more so, proof that it leaves it open is the fact that Donald Trump admits he has no clue what Todd Blanche signed in way of the rescission. He just knows that the rescission happened.
Do you sign off on Todd Blanche rescinding the Anti-Weaponization Fund? And also, there are Democrats right now who say there's essentially two tax codes. There's the Trump family tax code and a normal people tax code. Why do you think that your family deserves some level of special exemption when it comes to the auditing of taxes?
Well, I'll go into that. First of all, I had a 10-year case that was settled until I announced I was running for office. It was a settled deal like I've been doing all my life. I've been audited every year for my entire life, which I have a lot of wealthy friends. They were never audited. To this day, they were never audited. I was audited.
He was audited.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
And my deal was settled. In writing, it was settled, subject to final approval. Then I announced I was running for president. And all they did was haunt me with it. They ended the settlement, and they went after it. And they went after me illegally. And they did a lot of bad things to me like they did to other people. And I was treated very unfairly by the IRS. It was weaponized against me. Think of it. I had a case this is a 10-year-old case. And it was settled. It was done. The case was over. I announced I'm running for president, and they terminated the settlement in Washington, and they went after me. And what they did here was frankly, if you talk about reparations or if you talk about payment, what they did to me, I had a very good case against them. So this was a case that was settled. That when I decided to run for president, right at the beginning, this is a long time.
By the way, apparently it wasn't settled, because if it was settled and signed into signature, it would have been a contract that they would not have been able to get out of. So apparently it wasn't fucking settled at all. Why is he talking about this? Because the weaponization fund is dead, and he's crying about the fact that he could be audited in the future versus just retroactively. But even that's bad enough.
It's been going on for a long time. They terminated the settlement, which is something that never happened before. We have letters from the biggest law firms in Washington saying that this case is nonsense, just like the Russia was nonsense.
He can't help himself. Russia. Bro, people in your campaign, in your circle, pled guilty to crimes. Were found convicted of crimes. Yet nothing comes up on Google because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Weaponized government. And so that's that, and most people understand that. On the fund, these were people that were treated unbelievable. 22 suicides, more than that, I think.
Source, objection source, on 22 suicides from January 6ers. Please, source. Would love to see that. Here we go. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys going to defend this? Are you going to defend him defending January 6ers who violently assaulted the Capitol and police officers? Are you going to do that? Remember, in MAGA land, somehow it all makes sense because we believe in unicorns and, oh no, we don't like rainbows in MAGA land. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We don't like unicorns either. No. What do we like? Slop. AI slop of Jesus and Trump holding hands. But in MAGA land, January 6th, although Donald Trump was president, was a coordinated effort by the secret shadow government of Obama's and Biden's FBI and CIA that had agents and hired personnel out to purposely attack the Capitol, even though Biden won, to make Donald Trump look bad. And so they were Antifa members hired to go and do this act. But at the same time, he pardoned all of them. He pardoned the Antifa members that were hired to go against him. And they are the great patriots of our nation. And they've been treated horribly. But it wasn't his setup at the same time. Sure, you guys can keep living in whatever Delulu land that is.
Look at Ashley. Look at so many other things that happened. These people were treated horribly. And this fund could have given them some solace. But, it happens to be very popular among many quarters. And I don't participate.
What? What is that? What? Happens to be very popular among many quarters. What are you saying? What are you saying? Are you talking about polling? Are you talking about states? Are you talking about surveys? You said Matthew Perna is the only suicide you can find. Okay. What? What? It's not popular. By the way, actually, in his campaign, he campaigned in 2024, campaigned on pardoning the January 6ers. It was probably one of the the normal large. It was probably the least popular campaign slogan he had, or campaign point he had, was the January 6ers. Him campaigning on pardoning them was like the least popular policy that he had. So I don't know where he's getting it was popular in all quarters, or what that means. Nickels don't really like it, but quarters do, and sometimes dimes.
In that fund, I was certainly treated badly. I don't participate, but I thought it would be very fair for people that spent years in prison, people that were treated so badly, for in many cases people that did absolutely.
Z-Spark, he said it. He said normal large, so I said it. It's going to be a sticker. It has to be now.
Nothing wrong. So I view that fund as a positive, and a lot of Republicans do too. Not so many Democrats. And it's not only for that.
It was literally two Republicans holding up the confirmation of Todd Blanche. He has been confirmed. Well, he's been confirmed out of committee, which means he's going to get confirmed. I honestly thought he was going to get confirmed last week regardless of this, so this is just a delay, to be honest. Like, I thought he was going to get confirmed regardless. But the people holding it up were two Republicans. There were two Republicans. Why? I didn't say misinformation. Donald Trump did. It was probably me explaining their theory on January 6th. I'm sorry, TikTok. It was for edutainment purposes only. I don't actually believe that. They do. Why don't you talk to them about that? You don't take their lives down when they talk about this shit. I digress.
Other things too. People that have been treated unfairly, that have been weaponized by a corrupt government that we had with Obama and that we had with Biden. You had a corrupt government with both of them.
Mr. President, did you sign off on Todd Blanche rescinding that?
I didn't look at it.
That's the part I wanted you to hear. Did you sign off on Todd Blanche? I didn't look at it. Okay, so then not all parties signed on to the rescission, and so it's still out there. And we're going to get to that in just a minute. We're going to go into a few videos on Todd Blanche's confirmation, but first, let's do some more reflecting pool, shall we? What did I say yesterday? What did I say was going to happen after we talked about the case being dropped against David Hearn, the ex-Olympic rower? Because remember, Doug Burgum said there were 7 other arrests. What did I say? Can anybody remember? The test. What did I say was going to happen? What happened? Ripple effects. 3 people have reflecting pool charges dropped after Hearn request. So, as we can see, the federal government dropped charges against 3 individuals in connection with damage to the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, further weakening President Trump's argument that it was the work of vandals. Federal prosecutors moved to drop the vandalism case against former Olympic canoeist David Hearn, not rower, he's a canoeist, on Friday, abruptly changing course after arguing for months that he had taken a piece of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool's new $14 million lining. A judge could rule on that motion at a hearing scheduled for Thursday, Hearn's lawyer says, right? They moved to drop it. The judge has to agree to the drop. That is what it is. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia wrote that given newly released evidence from the Department of the Interior, it is difficult to attribute the widespread damage to the reflecting pool to vandalism, let alone to establish that fact beyond a reasonable doubt. Instead, it blamed a botched installation by President Trump's handpicked contractor. We read this directly from the documents yesterday. As of Monday, NPR has confirmed with lawyers and court filings that prosecutors subsequently dropped their cases against the 3 individuals facing misdemeanor charges. The identical one-page motions did not explain the federal government's reasoning. Quote, anyone who's read the pleading that was filed in Mr. Hearn's case would understand exactly what they would have to dismiss against the remainder of those charged, said G. Allen Dale, an attorney representing one of the individuals, Cameron Thiers. So then they go into him. So, what is this? What the cases have in common is that they're all charged with destroying the reflecting pool, which the federal government has just paid millions and millions of dollars to have painted and restored in some manner, Dale said. And from the pleading the government filed, their own experts and even the Department of the Interior have concluded that no one damaged the reflecting pool. It was improperly installed. It was just bad workmanship. So, other cases are now getting dropped. By the way, this is all costing us money. I just want everybody to know that this is costing taxpayer money to arrest them, hold them, detain them and hold them, bond hearings, being seen in front of a judge, even filing for the dismissal costs us money. So, yay, love that for us. But Trump wasn't happy. Trump was not happy with walking box of Zinfandel Jeanine Pirro dismissing the case. So I have a few clips of him being very upsetty spaghetti. While we were sitting here, thank you guys so much for tapping. I would appreciate it. Just keep tapping to kind of get rid of that warning that I got about misinformation because I decided to spout the unfortunate QAnon theories that MAGA believes. So that's on me. My bad. Guys, also we have the finger hearts. If we could complete those, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube and you have not hit that thumbs up button, I would appreciate it if you do. Super helpful to me, pushes us out onto that algorithm, so thank you so much. And guys, we have 105 left in the goal as we go on today. Just keep crowdfunding toward that. That would be amazing. It's how we keep doing the show here.
14 years, so something's got to be done. Yeah, please.
Have you spoken to Jeanine Pirro about her decision to drop her?
No, Jeanine Pirro made a mistake. There was vandalism. I just told you we did, I think, 78. One of the things was the reflecting pool. Hasn't worked since 1922 because it always leaked. It always leaked from 1922. You know, it's the largest, longest pool ever and all that. The concept is beautiful, but it always leaked because of the size, because of maintenance, whatever. But
yeah, like normal pools do. That doesn't mean it didn't work. It just means that it had issues of maintenance.
It was built in 1922, and from the day it was built, it leaked. 14 years, so something.
Okay. But Jeanine made a mistake. It was vandals. You have that information based off of what? Oh, well, he was still mad. It's okay. Here he goes again.
and I was disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. Really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella.
She folded like an umbrella. She didn't want to lose her license to practice law because judges can do that. They can start taking them away because you don't have the evidence. You're trying to find the evidence before you have the indictment.
Because the judge was extremely unfriendly to Jeanine. And frankly, I think she choked because the judge was really vicious. Instead of going after the people that did it, the judge went after her and went after her department. And I guess she choked.
The judge didn't go after her. The judge would have been, hey, okay, we're going to start this case. Where's the evidence? And the evidence that she received from the Department of the Interior, yeehaw, yeehaw. Thank you, Z-Spark. The evidence that they got from the Department of the Interior and Doug Burgum was that it was a botched installation. So she did with the evidence what she's supposed to do as a lawyer. To be honest, you have to commend her for being honest about that.
I don't know what the hell
Are
happened.
you reconsidering her role?
I don't know what you don't. You're fake news. Don't ever talk again. You're fake news. One of the worst in the business. Fortunately, nobody watches you. But something happened. There was vandalism because.
So then he gets mad at the news. He gets mad at the news for asking him if her role, they damaged the pool. If her role is being questioned after this case. You obviously disagree with her decision. Are you questioning having her in this role? Are you going to fire her? That is a question to be asked. And he attacks the news for it because he's very upsetty spaghetti. His last little bit of upsetty spaghetti is Peepaw trying to describe picture shows to us, and I thought that was great. What's a picture show, Grandpa?
Beautiful. Now, we have photographs or tapes, like moving cameras, right?
I'm sorry, what was that? What? Can you?
Now, we have photographs or tapes, like moving cameras, right?
You know, like those moving cameras. Video? We have video? Okay.
We have them where people are on the side cutting it with a box knife. Now, I'm not saying I was 100% thrilled with the contractor, but the contractor was rushing. We wanted to get it open for July 4th, and we got it done. But in addition...
But not in a good way, obviously, because then we had issues with the pool, right?
There was vandalism. Beautiful.
There was vandalism, sure. B, you said, what's the difference between black-eyed peas and chickpeas? I don't know. What's the difference between black-eyed peas and chickpeas? Yeah, we're going to see it at the Nickelodeon. People don't know what that is. Funny part. Yeah, and he drove over it. Yo mama is crazy. Black-eyed peas can sing us a song, but chickpeas can only hum us a song. Ah! I love jokes like that. Thank you, B. I love jokes like that so much. All I heard was we done did a waste, fraud, and abuse. Yeah, that's what I heard too. But anyway, now it's being reported that it's possible that she could be out. So this was the initial reporting yesterday about Jeanine Pirro possibly being fired. There's no confirmation, but...
Elena, there's new reporting that President Trump is now considering removing Pirro. What are you learning?
Yeah, that's right. I was catching up with some sources this morning, Brianna. Two people who've been having these conversations with the president are familiar with his thinking on Pirro, and they told me that he's considering removing her from her position as the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia because of this filing from the Justice Department on Friday, which essentially said the damage done to the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial was a result of essentially a botched renovation, a flawed renovation, and not vandalism as they had previously believed. And of course, as you've heard from the
Justin, I would like you to give me any proof of the things that you're saying in my chat right now. You're saying Fauci bragged about, which I don't know why we're talking about Fauci, but we can. You don't want to talk about the weaponization of your own government, sure, but we can talk about Fauci. Fauci bragged about getting Newsom to shut down California, and then Newsom went out partying because he knew it was bullshit. Prove that to me. Democrats funded Fauci manufacturing COVID to lock down Americans implementing fraud. Like, wild. Wild. And you connected that to mail-in BS, which is insanity. Insanity. Not true, TikTok. Those are not my views. Those are his views that he can't provide any evidence for, that Justin can't provide any evidence for. Who was president during the pandemic? Anyway.
President himself and the Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum. Now, the president, I'm told, was furious and fuming about Perot all weekend long. I'd remind you, this just dropped on Friday. And then on Saturday, I'm told he actually got on the phone with Perot and had a conversation with her. One of the sources I spoke with who was read out on this call, their senior administration official, they told me essentially that the conversation, quote, wasn't pretty. Now, you heard him fuming again in the Oval Office today about this, really showing just how angry he is with Perot for that court filing on Friday. We're told, essentially, though, that Perot has been telling the president that it was career officials in her office who had written that filing, not her directly, but still you could hear really that palpable.
So now what she's doing is she's trying to save her ass by throwing her employees under the bus within the DOJ. It was other officials. The other officials did it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. We literally have a quote from you saying how you had to drop it, but sure.
Anger spilling out into public view today when he addressed reporters. At one point, the president said Perot folded like an umbrella. Well,
so there's that. We don't know. Again, this is speculation. I have no clue, but we did have this. We did have this, and that's usually not good. Not a good sign.
Friday night.
I know you haven't seen the film Seven, so forgive me for quoting this, but Brad Pitt, to quote Brad Pitt at the end of the film, what's in the box? Do we know what Jeanine Pirro was wheeling away from the White House there? Do officials often wheel large file boxes out after meetings?
No, that was pretty unusual. I will say that our eagle-eyed team spotted when she was walking in that a staffer was coming in with her and was wheeling that box in. So it's not clear to us yet what exactly was in there or, what all that entails. But I mean, this moment in and of itself was kind of a moment where we talked to a lot of officials today at the White House who were also themselves openly speculating about her future and what this looks like because of how angry the president was with her. But today reporters attempted to ask him multiple times if he was second thinking or regretting putting her inside the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office to lead it. He did not answer that question notably. And so we'll see, obviously. A lot of times the president's view or determination about keeping someone on is decided by the coverage. And so I think that could also play a factor here.
Could be an
Which is true. When it comes to Donald Trump, the coverage of things kind of determines his path going forward, right? If people drop this and don't make it a big deal, then he'll probably let Jeanine Pirro keep doing what she's doing. If it becomes a big deal that he feels like is embarrassing him and his ego, he'll probably let her go. So she was seen wheeling out a box. As Caitlin Collins points out, the staffer wheeled the box in with her, and then she came back out with the box. So it could just be a box of documents, or it could be personal items. We just don't know what's in the fucking box. Tell me, who's your housekeeper? What you keep in your house? What in the world is in that box? What you got in that box? All right, back to some Peepaw stuff. He's just degrading in real time. Like, he just is. I don't care how many times that he perfectly identifies a liger or, a hippopotamus or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't fucking care how many times he does. The fact that he's doing it at all is an issue. And that many times and bragging about it is an issue. But cultured money. But he's not well. Like, this is an old man acting like an old man, like old men do, like Biden did as an old man. However, the problem is with Trump, we're not seeing where that is effectuating into good policy still. His moments of old man isms are not equating to beneficial things for the American people, and that is a problem.
But then somebody went in and cut it, just like they did the grass. Nobody talks about the grass. The grass have helicopter pictures.
I literally talk about the grass every time because you bring it up, because he tries to correlate the two when they're not the same. The reflecting pool issues, which seem to be a you problem, and the 8647 that were burned or cut or whatever into the grass is a separate issue, which, by the way, I don't even think we have I'm not sure. Do we have an arrest on that? I don't know that we do. But he's going to talk about the grass now. The grass he's talked about for the last 3 days, almost every single day, in regards to the case being dropped in regards to the reflecting pool, that he can't remember the number.
Talks about the grass. The grass have helicopter pictures of what they did. Wasn't it 87? Right? Do you know what they did, right? Did you?
He wants somebody to tell him because he doesn't know. What did the grass say? Can anybody tell me? I'll give you a hint. There's a case that we're following about it. I have a couple stickers in regards to what it says. 8647, that's what the grass says, is 8647. They literally have an indictment on James Comey saying it was a threat to the president, 8647. He can't remember what it says, and he is desperately, desperately looking at the news that he hates, the fake news, to fill in the blanks for him. Yeah, his eggs are scrambled. That's a great way to put it. He is desperately trying to ask that, like, you know what it is, right? You know what it is, right? Say it, say it, say it, say it, because I don't remember. You know what it is, right?
Wasn't it 87? Right? Do you know what they did, right? Did you see what they did? Did you see what they wrote? What did they write?
8647.
That's right. 8647.
He didn't know. He didn't know. Now, I think the 25th Amendment is going to be very, very hard to use. However, I don't want to hear anything ever again. Yeah, he wanted them to fill in the blanks. He absolutely did. He didn't know. He did not remember. Virgo, you can call me names all you want to. The president of the United States, who literally has an ongoing case against one of his enemies for 8647, couldn't remember that the grass that he's talked about for the past 2 days said 8647. He couldn't remember. Like, are you guys okay?
Wasn't it 87? Right? Do you know what they did, right? Did you see what they did? Did you see what they wrote? What did they write?
8647.
That's right. 8647. They 86 them. So it's 86, 47. They didn't do 45. At least they left 45 out. But they, and massive letters on the grass, 86.
Massive letters. Massive letters on the grass. 8647 are massive letters. They're numbers. They're numbers. Numbers.
47. And nobody talked about that. Was vandalism too. We had to replace all that grass. It was a tremendous amount of grass. Because when you hit it with this poison, it's acid, it kills the grass no matter how, you can't even clean it, even if you got there right after. It's very powerful stuff. I know it well. So,
they were normal large number letters.
People did great damage to this thing because they're sick people.
My God. By the way, I noticed that all of the people who are calling me slurs in the YouTube chat won't come up and defend him. You guys don't have facts to do so. You know what you will do if you do call in?
What about Biden?
That's what's going to happen. Because that's all you guys have. You can't defend him for being old. You just can't. And then Donald Trump's really mad at the oil companies for making money on the oil that is now more scarce because of the war that he started. So
You lose money with windmills.
also, he's mad at windmills. I don't know what windmills did to him personally. Please show us on the doll where the windmill touched you. But he really hates windmills.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Go ahead. Who are you with?
John Fredericks Media.
Yeah, that's right.
Original name.
Just like the Dems did. About what? Do you want me to talk about the debate? The horrible fucking debate where what did I say you were going to do?
What about Biden?
What'd I say? I win every time. I do. I just keep winning. Just keep winning. When Joe Biden said what did he say? We defeated Medicare. Like, we know that's not what he meant, but he said it. Was that some old man shit? Yeah, it was some old man shit. He shouldn't have run the second time. We knew that. We knew that. But he was still able to get more bipartisan legislation done that was beneficial for the American people than Donald Trump has ever done. So he can't get his own people on board with his legislation.
What was your name before?
John Fredericks.
Go ahead, John.
Mark. Two domestic questions, sir. The first one is Exxon and Chevron integrated all U.S. just announced record profits second
Yeah.
quarter. Unbelievable. For Exxon, for instance, 14 billion, highest they've had in over a decade. For Chevron for the quarter, highest in history.
By 12 times.
On the backs.
You saw that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. On the backs.
I don't like it.
Workers paying higher gas.
Yeah.
Is our...
They're making too much money. Okay.
I thought you guys liked capitalism. I thought you guys were bootlickers for the rich. What happened to that? Is Donald Trump a secret communist? I'm starting to think he's a unconscious communist. Because we're taking stock in Intel and other companies. Oil companies are making too much money. It's like super anti-free market capitalism rhetoric coming from the president here. It's interesting.
Based on a shortage, they're making too much money. I don't like it. And I should be the last one to say, because I'm a big free enterprise guy, nobody bigger.
No, you just like making money yourself, but nobody else can, I guess. I don't know.
And, you know, you're going to see oil, when we're finished with Iran, you're going to see the prices drop through the floor. But they made too much money. Too much money. Chevron, too much money. ExxonMobil, too much money. When you look at one company where they made 12 times what they made the year before, they're going to give some of that back to the public. And they better cut the retail price.
What? They should take some of that money and give it back to the public? I found something I agree with Trump on. Redistribution of the wealth. Redistribution of the wealth. Welcome, comrade. We're happy to have you. Yeah, when is he going to distribute that $4 billion that he made in office last year? That his business made? When is he going to distribute that $4 billion? Yes, Danny, I have 2 cats. Well, I have 3.
Consumer price. Too much money. You're surprised I'm saying it? I'll say it loud and clear. I'm not happy about it. Go ahead.
Redistribute the wealth, I guess. I guess that's what we're doing. I don't know. And then I had this. So this was put in by the DOJ. These were very specific plaintiffs, but I wanted to go over it. Defendant's motion to dismiss. Defendant, which is the United States of America, filing a motion to dismiss of the DOJ itself. Respectfully request that the court dismiss plaintiffs Patrick Sullivan, Marie Sullivan, and Alan E. Fisher III's purported class complaint with prejudice. Plaintiffs Patrick Sullivan, Marie Sullivan, and Alan E. Fisher III, alongside the purported class members, allege that they gathered on the west side of the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Then, this is January 6th. Then, at around 1 p.m., the named plaintiffs alleged that, without any warning, the police started to indiscriminately launch explosive munitions into the crowd to subdue the crowd. Bullshit. Moreover, the named plaintiffs alleged that the police were not aiming at the people who were pushing on the fence line, but instead they were shooting indiscriminately into the crowd further back. Fast forward approximately 4 years and 8 months, the United States Capitol Police received 2 letters enclosing in total 30 individual administrative claims claiming of injuries received on January 6, 2021 due to excessive police force. Notably, the named defendants submitted their administrative claims in these letter submissions. However, the submitted forms were only partially completed, did not have proper signatures, and it did not include supporting documentation. Now, over 5 years after the alleged incident, the named plaintiffs have filed the purported class complaint. In the complaint, the named plaintiffs bring 3 different federal tort claims. This is through the FTCA claims. This is a different fund that we use in way of harm done by the federal government. Claims negligence, assault, and negligent supervision on behalf of 3 groups of class members. So then, where is... A complaint may be subject to dismissal under Rule 12 for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. If a plaintiff's claim is time-barred, this court lacks subject matter jurisdiction to hear the case. So what's happening is the DOJ is trying to dismiss some January 6er case. I thought Trump loved the January 6ers. The instant complaint has a myriad of dispositive issues. First, the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction because of claimants' failure to exhaust administrative remedies before filing the complaint. Second, all the asserted FTCA claims are barred by the statute of limitations. Finally, even if this court were to find that the named plaintiffs have alleged a cognizable FTCA claim, the case should be transferred for improper venue. There is no question that none of the administration claims were timely filed. Here, the named plaintiffs allege that they were injured by the police actions that occurred on January 6. Thus, the named plaintiff's deadline to file the administration claim was January 6, 2023. However, the earliest claim to the named defendants was July 29, 2025. I wonder who gave them the encouragement to file these claims. Could it have been Donald Trump? Could it have been Todd Blanche, who during his confirmation hearing said that the weaponization fund is dead and moot, but there are other funds out there that they could still use? Maybe it was them. Maybe. Just a thought. But apparently the DOJ is also like, haha, but fuck you, statute of limitations. So I guess, fuck those great patriots that Donald Trump loves so much, right? I guess. Cool. All right, let's get to some of the Todd Blanche confirmation. So he was voted out of committee, and then he will go on to have the Senate vote. He will most likely get confirmed. I said this last time that I thought he was going to get confirmed before Tillis and Cornyn threw this wrench in, so I think he's still going to get confirmed now. But again, we hold his feet to the fire. That is what we do here. That is our job, is to make sure that the places in government that are working are pointed out, and the places that are not working are pointed out, and then we make sure that they are doing their job in the light of day. So that's our job. But as it is 10 o'clock, thank you so much, TikTok, for 128,000 taps. You guys are doing fucking fantastic. We are well on our way. Do not slow down. Do not slow down. I promise you your partners will thank you for all of the things that your muscly little thumbs and index fingers will be able to do, okay? So let's make sure that we are doing that. Tap that screen. I appreciate you guys and your support so very much. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, please do so. Thank you so much, Vince, for the hand art. Vince reminds me, we do have that gift gallery on here, so if we could complete the gift gallery. Remember, unfortunately, if you're doing like the hat and mustache, you have to light up both of them. If you're doing the hand heart, you have to light up both of them. And as one person has to light up both of them for it being able to light up, that's a pain in the ass, and I know that it is, but if you can, I would appreciate it so very much. Guys, we have the finger hearts that I see now. You knew I was going to yell at you. Y'all knew. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. Let's finish out those finger hearts, please. I would appreciate it so that we can move on to the next gift. We have about 20 left that we need to complete. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. I hate that Trump gets one too. That's great. Thank you so much. Audrey, I appreciate you for the cowboy hats. Finishing out that in the gift gallery. Love that. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button if you have not already. I would appreciate it. There's also like a little tap for hearts there too. I don't know if it does anything, but if you can, I would appreciate it. Hello, Twitch watchers. I appreciate you. If you're not following me, please do so. I would appreciate it. It would mean a lot. And guys, I have 105 left in my goal with 2 hours to go. If we could crowdfund for a woman's labor, that would be amazing. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link trees in my bio. Across all 3 platforms, we can dollar train, $2 train. Let's start working on getting that goal down. We did not meet the goal yesterday. Let's see if we can meet it today. That would be wonderful, fantastic. Remember, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. It is how I pay my bills. So I would appreciate it if we could do that. We get that accomplished and I can pay water today. That would be nice. So thank you guys. I would appreciate it so very much. Thank you, Z-Spark, for the hand heart. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for lighting up the hand hearts in the gift gallery, Z-Spark W's. Let's move on to Todd Blanche's hearing that he had today. I don't have a lot, but I have a few clips that I was able to get this morning that I thought were relevant. So we're going to do that. So let's go to, oh my God, Corrupted. That's so fucking beautiful. Oh my God. Do you, like, you know what that looked like? It looked like Freeren's staff. Oh my God. I love that so much. It looked like Freeren's staff. That was amazing. Thank you so much for that. That made me so happy. So Dick Durbin made a statement. I'll post it in my story later. I'll go find that one and I'll post it in my story later. Dick Durbin made his statement. So pretty much what happens is the Senate goes around and makes their statements about why they think he should be confirmed and that they plan to vote for the confirmation or why they plan to vote against it. And here is one of Dick Durbin's statements in regards to that.
Instead of serving the American people and upholding the rule of law and the Constitution, Mr. Blanche has aided and abetted the most corrupt administration in the history of the United States. Prior to this hearing, Mr. Blanche told me he, quote, made a mistake, close quote, by creating the January 6th slush fund. Where did he say it? In my office, with witnesses, my staff, to what I'm about to say. When I asked him about this under oath, Mr. Blanche falsely claimed that he never made this statement. That's not true. Mr. Blanche's willingness to casually lie under oath about a statement he made in a room full of witnesses shows the lengths he will go to avoid offending President Trump. Why doesn't he want to concede he made a mistake? We all do that from time to time, right? No, no, no. Manly MAGA leaders do not admit a mistake or use the word sorry. So he was held accountable by the president. Mr. Blanche has claimed he recused himself from matters involving President Trump in his personal capacity. Yet he personally signed the agreement releasing President Trump, his family, and businesses from tax liability. When asked how DOJ justified the slush fund's outrageous $1.776 billion price tag, Mr. Blanche refused to answer. He shows contempt for this committee and for our history by refusing to admit that the sum was chosen to signal support for the January 6 rioters, and many of us remember when they attacked and invaded the Capitol.
See? You can talk shit on Dick Durbin, too. Just old men doing old men shit. Can't say remember. Just old men. Can't deal with it anymore.
Rioters shamelessly invoked 1776 to compare themselves to American revolutionaries. Give me a break. Mr. Blanche told me that a ruling against the settlement was, quote, a hit piece personally directed at him. This is no surprise coming from the man who declared that the Justice Department is, quote, at war, close quote, with the courts. These are not the words of someone who would serve our nation as a top law enforcement official.
No, he did not recuse himself. And he personally signed the letter that allows Trump, his sons, and his business to be exempt from auditing from this date forward on the thing retroactively. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Here is Amy Klobuchar talking about specifically Todd Blanche and trying to get information from the DOJ, share information about what happened in Minnesota, where you killed people. You literally murdered U.S. citizens, and Klobuchar, who's from Minnesota, is trying to get that information.
I start with this. As you know, this year, thousands of ICE and Border Patrol agents descended on Minnesota. Two of my constituents, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, were killed. They should be alive today. After they were killed, the federal government refused to cooperate with state and local law enforcement, blocking Minnesota investigators from accessing the scene of Alex's death, even though they had a judicial warrant. Federal investigators mishandled evidence, and they failed to process Renee Good's car for evidence. Everyone in this room have seen those videos. Everyone in this room knows that at the very least, those cases should have been and should be investigated, and they are now. Instead of cooperating with local law enforcement, which I pressed the department to do from the beginning, and as the Justice Department had done in past cases, including following the assassination of Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, the marching orders from the Justice Department to federal prosecutors in Minnesota were to investigate Renee Good and her wife. Joe Thompson, who is the lead fraud prosecutor in my state and who I recommended to serve as acting U.S. attorney under this administration and was appointed as acting, he resigned after that. He resigned along with 14 other prosecutors because they did not believe what they were being asked to do was ethical. These are career prosecutors, no politics, not interested in politics.
Rob, describe to me how liberalism is a mental illness, please. Can you cite it within the DCSM? Or the DSM? Can you cite it? Please? How is liberalism a mental illness? We could talk about it.
And then, more than 6 months after Renee and Alex's death, when I asked Acting Attorney General Blanche if the department would finally fully cooperate with state law enforcement in these investigations, he said it depends on what full cooperation means.
She asked him if he could cooperate with her law enforcement in her state. He said it depends on what full cooperation means. What?
Floodgates were open to some extent. Some information was finally passed along to the state, but it is unclear if they have all the information that they need. Minnesotans deserve transparency and accountability.
Yeah, what I would point out about liberalism, capitalism rules. Rob, liberalism got you a 40-hour work week instead of a 90-hour one. Got you days off. It got you paid time off, sick leave, maternity or paternity leave, depending on your state. That was liberalism that did that for you. Social Security, so that you have something in the future that Republicans and Democrats have pulled from to try to take away, but Republicans mostly. MAGA! That was his response. Trump!
And not just for the killing.
They're just broken.
We also saw repeated violations of Minnesotans' constitutional rights. I asked Todd Blanche about one such case. I asked if it is unacceptable for federal agents to forcibly enter someone's home without a warrant and drag them into the street without even checking if they have the right person. This happened with a Hmong elder, a U.S. citizen, saying he was a U.S. citizen, dragged out in his underwear and Crocs, thrown into a car, and driven around for an hour before they realized they had the wrong guy. Mr. Chairman, when I asked Todd Blanche about this, and if this was a violation, he said it depends, and it was not a black or white answer. Mr. Chairman, what is black and white is that a nominee to be the chief law enforcement in our country should be able to condemn the actions taken in that case.
So why should she vote to confirm somebody who isn't even working with local law enforcement to make sure that everybody working within the federal law enforcement is doing exactly what they need to be doing? I wouldn't vote for him either. Z-Spark, was that you? It has to be you because you gave me the math. Thank you for the 777. You said 97.23 left. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because you know I would have sit here and struggle bust. It would have happened. It would have happened. So thank you. Guys, 97.23 left is the goal. I've been outed as a nerd. Why? For doing the math for me? I appreciate it. I appreciate when you do the math. I didn't mean to close that out completely. Why? Why would you do that? We like that. It's fine. We like nerds in this community. Trust me. I am one. So this is a short clip, and then we get to a longer clip. But this is Senator Whitehouse. I love Senator Whitehouse. Senator Whitehouse talking about, again, this anti-weaponization fund being dead and moot. When that's not what we're saying. You would have liked to see. I showed them the I showed them the thing you made earlier.
There is enough weasel room in these documents to drive a truck through. And what might that truck look like? Well, you could get rid of the anti-weaponization fund for $1.776 billion, and in a month, put out the Trump Justice Fund for $1.9 billion. Nothing in this document prevents anything like that from happening.
Correct. As we pointed out, there are holes all up in this rescission letter. They could just choose to rescind the rescission as soon as he's confirmed. As soon as Tillis and Cornyn are gone, they could just choose to do that. We're going to do a pivot. It's still the Todd Blanche confirmation, but we're going to pivot to Senator Whitehouse talking about Todd Blanche because we're not going to stop talking about it. Todd Blanche was part of, if not the headliner, as Pam Bondi threw him under the bus, the headliner of covering up the Epstein files, ensuring that he pulled employees from the DOJ under Pam Bondi's direction, or according to Pam Bondi, his. I don't know, they can Spider-Man point at each other all they want to. But they were responsible for moving members within the DOJ for more important matters to specifically redact Trump's name and search for Trump's name. He met with Maxwell, had a private recorded conversation with her, She ended up getting moved to a different facility. And we still had a fight about the files. We're still having a fight about the files, saying that we're not getting the other 3 million because they are duplicative. If they are duplicative, show us so that we can determine that they're duplicative. Because guess what? There was a lot of duplicative information in the files you gave us. Where I'd click on a file, it would be some sort of email. I'd click on another file, it would be that email again, but like wider. So don't give me that bullshit. What are you hiding? We're not going to let you stop. Trump is deathly terrified of these files for some reason. He's deathly terrified of coverage on Epstein for some reason. But you guys want to confirm Todd Blanche. Sure.
And then you get to Ghislaine Maxwell, where a deputy attorney general flew to Tallahassee to have a private meeting with a woman convicted of participating in Epstein's depravity. And what was the upshot of that meeting? Was it to get more information about who else was culpable, about whose secrets were still being kept? No. It was to get exculpatory information about Donald Trump and then reward her with a move to a club-fed prison. Now, the nominal excuse for that is, oh, she was in danger in her earlier prison, so we had to move her. How often does a prisoner allegedly facing threats or danger get moved to a less secure facility?
Somebody square that circle. In what sense does it make? Yes, I see you guys having conversations about it. Thank you guys for doing the math for me, by the way. It just makes me happy. Thank you to Vincent for the 27 cents. You guys love to torture me with decimal points, though, but you didn't make me do the math, so I appreciate it. 96.96 left. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trusting you all with this math now. That's a scary prospect in itself.
I mean, think about it. It doesn't pass the test of common sense. So, between the botched disclosure, which revealed victims of...
Oh my God, Rip Tip, if you could hold your horses. We'll talk about that. You want to talk about that? We can talk about that. I have it on the show today. You're a liar. Stop listening to Fox News.
Epstein's depravity, whose names had not been previously known, in some cases with photographic images with their addresses, in some cases photographs without being fully clothed. Where does the buck stop for that, if not with Mr. Blanche? That was an epic botch that did real harm to Epstein's victims. Voting for this guy today gives their blessing to the screw-up, to the botched release that even Pam Bondi pointed at Blanche as responsible for. And it gives the blessing to his continuing role in the cover-up of Epstein files.
That's true. And it's a good thing he points it out. Plungerman, thank you for the follow over there on Twitch. And Lees, you said White House is an example of the intelligent and ethical members of the Senate. I would agree. I really like White House. I think he has integrity and scruples and principles, and I do love that about him. What he is doing is he is pointing out the fact that they need to own this. If they're going to vote for his confirmation, you own it, and you own all of it, including the shit that he fucked up with Epstein. Redacting the names of Donald Trump and other alleged abusers while unredacting the names of the survivors. While not meeting with the survivors. We'll get to that in a minute. Because here's Dick Durbin. We're back with Dick Durbin on Epstein and Blanche.
Last year, under Mr. Blanche's leadership, more than 1,000 FBI personnel were pulled off key law enforcement priorities. What was a higher priority than their oath that they've taken to uphold the law? They were directed to flag Epstein records and look for any mention of Donald Trump. Mr. Blanche refused to tell me who gave this order, but former Attorney General Bondi made it clear, saying Blanche was, quote, in charge of the Epstein files.
She threw him under the
And when
bus.
the Epstein Files Transparency Act forced DOJ to release the files, not only did the department delay reviewing and producing it, it recklessly failed to redact hundreds of survivors' personal information, victimizing them all over again. And they testified before this committee under oath to that fact. Meanwhile, the names of powerful Epstein cronies remain protected, in clear violation of the law. When scrutiny of the Epstein cover-up intensified, Mr. Blanche participated in secret meetings in the White House Situation Room, of all places, to strategize about protecting Trump, not Epstein survivors.
We covered that. We covered the reporting on that and how they were literally meeting in the Situation Room about how they were going to handle these Epstein files because it was going to hurt Trump.
Mr. Blanche volunteered to interview convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, a transparent attempt to exonerate President Trump. Just days later, she was transferred to a minimum security camp, which is unheard of, unprecedented.
I do, Stephen. I've talked about, so I'm one of the people, and I don't know if you're going against or whatever, but I just want to make this clear, that I am one of very few creators that I've seen, like a handful of us, that when we talk about Epstein, we talk about all of it. I've done that. You want to talk about 5 administrations that sat on this information? Yeah, we can. What I will say is the same thing that I've always said, is that we have not really seen a DOJ tied this closely to the president in way of briefings like that since what? Maybe Herbert Hoover with the FBI? Like we haven't seen this level of connection. So they're not getting briefed on information they don't have. But did Democrats and Republicans sit on it and do nothing? Yeah. Yeah. Annie Farmer and Maria Farmer reported Epstein to the police in 96. To the FBI. Not even the police, excuse me. Annie Farmer and Maria Farmer, their sisters, both abused by Epstein, reported Epstein to the FBI in 1996. That's how long they've known about it. I agree with you. You want to admonish them for sitting on their hands while countless numbers of children and women were harmed? I'm right there with you. All that I can do is point out what's going on with this administration now. In this administration, they have botched this. They are trying to cover it up. They're trying to protect the president and not the survivors. Maxwell still had appeals going during Biden's administration. Still had active appeals. Because remember, not only is she charged with helping Epstein procure these children, she also was charged and convicted of harming them herself. She was also a sexual abuser. I have all the smoke in the world for that, but I can't fix what they didn't do. All I can do is talk about what's happening now and that it is trying to be fixed, and what we are seeing is the Democrats now trying to fix it, and a lot of Republicans fighting against it to protect their Lord and Savior, Trump. I have an issue with that. So me talking about the past isn't going to do any good, but I will. 96. So they've had this information since Bill Clinton, who we know is a sex pest. They knew that before they voted for him. I was not old enough to vote for Clinton, but they knew that beforehand. You're telling me that we live in a patriarchal society where men protect other men from doing horrible fucking things? I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Maybe we have just finally hit progression of being able to finally hold people accountable. And yeah, it took too long. You're telling me, I'm a woman, I know. Took too long. Welcome aboard. You're with us now? Okay. Hold his feet to the fire too then.
For serious sex offenders like her. Mr. Blanche agreed to meet with...
No, Stephen, and that's why I said I'm not speaking to you directly. I'm speaking in general because I've had people have that argument about the previous administrations. Not you. You're totally fine.
Epstein survivors after months of pleas. Only when his nomination was in jeopardy and a member of this committee said he wouldn't consider voting for him unless he met with these survivors. He finally met with them for almost an hour. As one survivor, Dan Obinsky, who testified before this committee, said, the meeting was a box-checking exercise. Mr. Blanche refused to take accountability for redaction failures, and he wouldn't commit to following their suggested investigative leads. It is clear that Mr. Blanche hopes to sweep the Epstein scandal under the rug. I thank those survivors for the courage they showed in this room today and around the country, for continuing to advocate for survivors and speak truth to power.
And they're there. They're there in that courtroom. Or Congress room, courtroom. It's not a courtroom. It's not a courtroom. They have been to courtrooms, but it is not a courtroom. It's a committee room. Where was that one? Thank you, I guess. Thank you. I said I'll read them. Thank you, Ben, for the $2. You said, does Israel sponsor you? No. I don't like the government of Israel. So no, they don't sponsor me. But according to MAGA, George Soros does. So let's make sure that we are pleasing George Soros. Guys, it is a brand new month. It's a brand new month. So, oh my God, I wanted this one. It made me so happy. Thank you, Peabody. I wanted that one so bad. I saw it in the gifts and I was like, I want this one so much. You just made me so happy. Thank you. My story is just going to be a collage of the gifts that I got today. That's what did the aliens just take Monty away from us? How rude. They did, finally. Finally get to go home. Okay, I'm getting distracted. But if you would like George Soros to be happy, can we please ensure that we are paying me? Because George Soros will be down at the back of my neck, breathing down the back of my neck to make sure that we get this BLM bake sale done this month for August. Now that it's a new month, get your Antifa dues in, because apparently that's who pays me, is George Soros. I don't know. Apparently. So the Epstein survivors did release a statement. August 4th, Epstein survivors issued joint statement condemning Senate Judiciary's vote in favor of Todd Blanche. Today's vote is a profound disappointment for Jeffrey Epstein's survivors. Todd Blanche has failed us at every step of the way. As the Justice Department official overseeing the Epstein files review, he allowed the release of survivors' names, phone numbers, and other deeply personal information, including CSAM, images of children. He concealed the identities of alleged abusers and others connected to Epstein's trafficking network. He participated in White House Situation Room meetings that treated the release of the Epstein files as a public relations problem. He moved Ghislaine Maxwell to a low-security prison. He has made clear that there will be no further prosecutions for those who participated in Epstein's sex trafficking operation. When we met with Todd Blanche, he interrupted us. He told us to, quote, get to the point. He told us to report what happened to us to the FBI. We already have. Some of us have been reporting these crimes for decades. This was a check-the-box meeting designed to secure Senator Tillis's vote, because Senator Tillis said that he would not vote for them unless they, sorry, I got a stupid fucking pre-recorded warning again. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we do. TikTok's trying to unalive itself. Some of us have been reporting these crimes for decades. This was the check-the-box meeting designed to secure Senator Tillis's vote. Senator Tillis said he would not vote for his confirmation unless, one, the weaponization film, which came later, but two, that he met with these survivors. But apparently it was just a done. Now I get your vote. The treatment we received from senators throughout this process was just as revealing. Senator Tillis publicly invited us on camera to come to his office and promised to meet with us. We did. We waited for 45 minutes in his lobby, only to be told by a staffer that he would not meet with us after all. Senator Cornyn also refused to hear directly from survivors before casting his vote. Senators Tillis and Cornyn were not willing to sit across from us and answer for the vote they were preparing to cast. If they believed they were doing the right thing, they should have had the courage to look survivors in the eye and tell us why. The message was unmistakable. They wanted us to go away. We are not going away. For decades, powerful people have counted on survivors staying silent. We didn't then, and we won't now. Today's confirmation vote does not end our fight. It only strengthens our resolve. We will continue urging the full Senate to reject Todd Blanche's nomination, and we will continue demanding the truth. Accountability for those who enabled and participated in Epstein's crimes, and I will read their names. Ashley Rubright, Jane Doe, Jennifer, Laura Bloom McGee, Michelle Licata, Charlene Richard, Audra Lynn Fasano, Jane Doe, Joanna Harrison, Liz Stein, Rachel Benavides, Sky and Amanda Roberts, who are speaking for his sister, Virginia Giuffre, Danny Bensky, Jess Michaels, Juliet Bryant, Marjake Chartuni, Rosa, Teresa J. Helm. Sorry, get that off the screen. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
38, Florida, Trump.
Okay, did you call for a specific reason, or do you want to talk about why you're still supporting Trump?
I'll talk why I'm still supporting Trump.
Sure.
Well, I'm a conservative, and you have two choices generally in these elections, so that's primarily. But I think he has very novel solutions. He has very creative, like first of their kind of ideas that I think are really fun. Say it again.
Novel solutions for what? Like an example of one?
Well, he does all kinds of things. Like I think about my aunt who this last year was diagnosed with ALS, and there's medication that she's able to take now due to the Right to Try Act, which is something that he did that gave terminally ill patients access to the...
Sure, in his first term, Congress did that under his administration. That's great. Can we talk about why you're still supporting him now?
Well, he's the same person who did that, so I give him credit
He
for that.
didn't do it. Congress did it. He just signed it, but sure.
Yeah. Well, I think
and he's also the same person. He's also the same person who is directing the Office of Medicaid to stop the subsidies for Medicare Part D. So anybody who has Medicare Part D, their prescription drugs are going to go up in January. So that's also that same person. So.
And you brought up an interesting point. Like he doesn't have the ability. Like he has the ability to sign it, and I think in the same way that we give him credit for things that he does that are good, I don't think we should necessarily give as much weight to the things that don't happen the way that they should happen. That's just one point. But
that's a direct.
In terms of the other
that's
things,
a directive through the Office of Medicaid and Medicare, though.
What is?
To end the subsidies to Medicare Part D.
Well, ultimately, he believes that freeing up resources and creating a more competitive medical marketplace will lower prices overall, and that's generally true in all of capitalism.
And how does he plan? And how does he plan to do that?
Well, I'm not, again, like in terms of his policies, there's a wide range of things. The thing that touched home for me was the Right to Try Act. But he does things that are interesting. Like he created the Space Force, which is the first new branch of the military, which I think is very cool.
He just renamed the Air Force.
No, he didn't. It's a separate branch.
Is it?
It is.
Can you prove that to me?
Can I prove that to you?
Yeah, prove it's a separate branch from the Air Force.
You could Google it. Anyone who's
it's
right
your
there.
claim. You could do it. By the way, is this Brian?
Yes.
Okay. Since it is, Audrey is telling you to fuck off with all your takes and your crazy abortion fine and capital and punishment takes. W's to Audrey for the $10. I just read the message, so that is what it is. So W's to Audrey for using capitalism that he loves so much. He loves the capitalism so much to get rid of a caller he didn't want to listen to anymore. W's to Audrey for that. Yeah, I know. It's not new. It's not a new branch. It's underneath the Air Force. It's the Air Force. You know how I know? Because we renamed a base in Colorado. It was Buckley Air Force Base. You want to know what it's called now? Do you want to know what it's called? It was Buckley Air Force Base. It's called Buckley Space Force. Because he didn't create anything new. But Kamala was in charge of NASA. Right. If you think that Space Force is NASA, you're insane. That's not. No. No. It's under the Air Force. It's not new. It's not a new branch. It is not a new branch. It is under the branch of the Air Force. So no. Yeah, also calling me while I say victims' names is insanity. Okay. So as we were pointing out, it's being Well, I think they're trying to say that it's a different department from the Air Force because of space, but it's not. It's getting a lot of coverage, this reflecting pool shit, which is nice that all the mainstream media is up on it now when I've been talking about it this whole time. But that this was weaponization against David Hearn. This was use of weaponization to save face for the president. So Tillis is going to make himself feel better with his cope. That's the next couple things I have is 2 videos on cope of Tillis making himself feel better for voting for Blanche, with the cope of saying that everybody does the weaponization.
The bottom line is nobody is clean here. And until we start recognizing this behavior as bad, we're just going to one-up it. Maybe it's a little bit more intense in this administration than the last one, and that a little bit more intense than the prior administration, and so on and so on.
Cap, did you not watch the videos of yourself that I have on my YouTube? You should, before you start speaking about things that you have no clue about. You don't want to talk about Spain. You don't know anything about it.
So forth. But folks, we've got to end this stuff. We do. I'm going to support Mr. Blanche's nomination, but what I hope I see out of him is a bending of the curve of this absurdity.
You won't. Todd Blanche is going to keep going on and pursuing Trump's political enemies because that's what he was told to do, and that's what he's going to do. And as he said, I am Trump's lawyer, was Trump's lawyer. Freudian slip there. And then this is Cornyn also. What did you do? Oh, did you? Did I not see that? What? Oh, you're just telling people. You're just telling people where to get to. I see what you're doing. Well, you have to tell me what it is because I forgot, because like Donald Trump forgot, I forgot. But here is Cornyn, again, explaining himself away for why it's fine to vote for him now.
Given this agreement with Mr. Blanche, I expect the department to live up to...
We weren't wrong, Cap. You're just not smart. I'm so sorry to tell you this. Do you know what Dunning-Kruger is?
to this in future litigation, and I will vote to advance him out of the committee today. But my vote to advance Mr. Blanche's nomination goes beyond this document. We need a stabilizing force at the Department of Justice, and Mr. Blanche deserves the opportunity to provide that, as opposed to continuing to serve in an acting capacity and as the Deputy Attorney General. The Department of Justice does not need a temporary, unconfirmed nominee as our nation's top law enforcement officer. President Trump needs someone in this role as well, with a strong legal mind, but who also is close enough to him to give him confidential legal advice, to tell him hard truths.
So Cornyn sold out. He folded like an umbrella, as Trump would say. He got what he thinks he wanted. It was enough of a placation for him to be able to vote him in. Great. Grand. Wonderful. Guys, as we are sitting here, I see that the taps are going fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Do not stop. Continue doing that. That is absolutely wonderful and amazing. But I am a little disappointed in the shares. We're only at 67 shares, and I have been on for about an hour and a half. Those shares could get up. Can we get those shares up to 100, please? I would appreciate it so very much. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button if you have not already. I would appreciate it. As Ari points out, I have to go back. 49 cents, and we can get to our favorite number in this community that Donald Trump can't remember. So let's get to that. All right. Rib Tip, I hope you're still in here. Rib Tip, are you still in here? I hope so. Let's get to what you guys are talking about, because you guys need to stop watching Fox News and News Nation and all these other things. Oh, well, apparently we can't get to it. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
This is Jimmy, New York, and Trump.
How old are you?
42. I'm sorry. I went to a baseball game the other day. I lost my voice.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Because Trump is the only. I'm sorry. Trump is the only Republican candidate worth voting for.
No, that's why you voted for him. But why are you still supporting him now?
Oh, right this very second, I don't support Trump anymore.
What changed?
A lot. America has gone into this spiraling downfall for the past couple years. After Trump was elected, it got a little better, and then after that little roller coaster ride of, when you first get on the roller coaster and it first goes up and up and up, and you get all excited, and then it goes straight down, and you're scared like shit. That's exactly what happened.
I mean, that's an interesting analogy because usually when they say it's all downhill from here, that means it's better and easier. So it is an interesting way to do an analogy. But I'm glad.
really?
I guess
thought
I'm
it's
glad
all-
you don't support him anymore.
I thought it's all downhill from here meant it's bad from here now.
No, going uphill is where the struggle is. So that would be the bit. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad you don't support Trump
genuinely
anymore.
noticed
Just stop voting for Republicans because they're lying to you and they don't help you. But you're in New York, so you'll be all right. Yeah, I'm not dealing with that. It's all it's all downhill is good. Downhill good because downhill easier. Gravity push you down. Good. Uphill bad because you're pushing against gravity. Bro, that saying came from your generation. Right. But sure. Anyway, I have more important things to talk about. Rib tip. I don't know if you're in here anymore, which is very disappointing. I hope you catch it later because you were the one who brought this up. I said hold on to your horses. Stop watching News Nation. Stop watching Newsmax. Stop watching OAN. Stop watching Fox News. But this is their claim.
There are a number of things. The Save America Act, well, of course, I've voted for that 6 times. I've led the photo ID effort. I don't know. Perhaps Democrats will come around now that Mandami is demanding IDs to shop for groceries in New York. Maybe the Democrats will come to their senses and vote with us to have photo IDs to vote in America.
Yes. Okay. So what Husted is saying is that we should be promoting, Democrats should be voting, not we, I'm not a Democrat, but Democrats should be voting for the Save America Act and the voter ID portion specifically because Mamdani is making people get IDs to shop at the grocery stores that he's creating. And now you guys are repeating it. Rib Tip came out and decided he was going to repeat it. There's only one problem with that. That's wrong. It's a lie.
Is that you've been touting, including not taking a salary increase, which I think is great to leave more money for the administration of the city.
I wasn't wrong on New York, Cap. I asked you to prove to me that they got a bailout. I should have been clear that we were talking about a federal bailout because that's what you said. You said that why is New York asking for a federal bailout? I said to prove that to me. What you showed me was that they got a bailout from the state, which New York City is completely different from New York State, and that they got a bailout from the state. That didn't prove your fucking point on anything. You then went off on a tangent of saying that you were that there were kickbacks happening, which I asked you to prove, and you had a hissy fit. Think, oh, here we go. Yeah, prove the things you say, Cap. That's all I ask you to do. I'm not saying they didn't happen. I'm just asking you to prove them. It's not that. No, you were wrong. They did not get a federal bailout. You were wrong.
The access to preschool, including home-based daycare. Some of the
Oh, you want that? Like, I have that one now.
Let me live in my denial.
things you're doing. For you, as an exit question, which of your policies are most translatable on a national level? Because people outside of New York are like looking at New York with envy, like we want these things. Which of these things do you think are actually translatable outside of New York City?
I would say the vast majority, if not all of them, frankly, because we are talking about a cost of living crisis that, while it is truest here in the most expensive city in the United States of America, it is a reality for Americans, no matter what city or what state they call home. When we're talking about childcare, we're saving families in this city $20,000 a child when they enrolled their child into free 2K, which is what we're rolling out this fall with 2,000 seats. Next year, 12,000 seats. End of 4 years in office will be for every single 2-year-old in this city. When we're talking about a city-run grocery store, one in each borough, which, by the way, you do not need an ID to shop at, no matter what you've just heard in the news of today.
Oh! Which you do not need an ID to shop at, no matter what you've heard with the news of the day. Oh.
Families in this city, $20,000 a child when they enrolled their child into free 2K, which is what we're rolling out this fall with 2,000 seats. Next year, 12,000 seats. End of 4 years in office will be for every single 2-year-old in this city. When we're talking about a city-run grocery store, one in each borough, which, by the way, you do not need an ID to shop at, no matter what you've just heard in the news of today. We're talking about actually addressing the question of skyrocketing grocery prices. We've seen.
So that was a lie, Rib Tip. That was a lie. Cap, you said, I don't need to prove what we all know happened. Well, can my community agree that we all know that Cap beats women? So I guess it's just true now, right? I don't have to prove it. I don't have to prove it to you. It's just true. Okay. Cool. In way of more of this, I wanted to go through specifically. This was the quote you just heard. I wanted to play it for you. But then his office, this is Mom Donnie's office quickly reinforced that message as criticism spread across conservative media and social platforms, because you guys don't actually pay attention to the thing that you read or hear. You don't actually investigate it. You hear somebody on Fox say, Mom Donnie's getting IDs for the grocery store, and you're like, yep, bet he is. You don't actually look it up. Quote, insane this even needs to be said, but to be absolutely clear, New York City grocery stores will be open to everyone. Press Secretary Joe Calvello wrote on X, there will be no system to verify identity, residency, or income, and no one will be asked to show ID to shop. Yeah, new setup, Lakin. I'm trying to mitigate these flags. That's what I'm trying to do. So stop lying. How about that? Just stop lying. Or maybe you don't know you're lying and that's worse. Maybe you are so ignorant that you just believe the things that the news tells you. And that's it. You don't research any farther. That's it. Who are you talking to, Navy vet? What are you talking about? Good? Really? You don't like freedom? You want fascist, great black market food headed art? What are you talking about? You just gotta believe. You just gotta believe. All right. Pivoting out a little bit, I wanted to play this. I only have this clip specifically, but there was a committee hearing about crypto and crypto schemes. And you have actor and filmmaker Ben McKenzie, who came in front. He has been on the forefront of trying to get this acknowledgement of how corrupt and dirty crypto is. It should be regulated. It should be restricted in the same way. He was in the OC, which I actually didn't even watch, but he was in the OC. I'll show you. You'll see him. But crypto needs to be regulated in the same way that banks are. It just does. It just does. To sit here and say that it's not is ridiculous. And it is what is allowed for the amount of fucking rug pull schemes that we have seen, including from the President of the United States, which he makes a point to talk about. It's a rather long video. It's about 6 minutes long. So we are going to watch it. I would appreciate, guys, while we watch it, that you continue doing the tapping. You guys are doing wonderful. Holy crap. You guys got to 211,000 likes already. I know we can get to 300,000. I know we can. To be honest, we could probably get to 350,000 if we're being honest with ourselves about our fingers. And I appreciate it. You guys will put those on ice. And you guys have been very, very good. Here, what do you want? A little praise, a little get down on your knees, and mommy gives you a nice one. Okay. Because I love you guys. You guys are doing fucking fantastic. So let's make sure we're doing that. Guys, remember, I do have $86.96 left in my goal. Let's crowdfund for women's labor, please. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We can do a $1 train, a $2 train, a $5 train. We need to start working on getting this goal down. It is not moving, and we need to work on getting it down. I hate having to say it so often, but it is how we pay for things here so that I am still able to come on and do this for you guys every single day, Monday through Friday. So let's make sure 369. So let's make sure that we are doing that. Please, I would appreciate it so very much. And we move on. Oh, I have it on the screen. Why do I do that every single time? I feel like I have to press a button. Brian McKenzie in front of Congress.
Thank you, Senator. And thank you to Senator Van Hollen for your attention to these matters. My name, as you said, is Ben McKenzie Shanken. I'm an author and filmmaker. I spent the last several years documenting fraud and other criminal activity in the cryptocurrency industry. It is timely that we are here today, as Congress considers new legislation, the Clarity Act, to regulate the crypto sector. I believe we are at a point of crisis when it comes to crypto's influence over our legislative process. Recent reporting from just last week reveals a foreign company that issues a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, wasn't he on he was on, I know him from the OC, but he was on, wasn't it called Gotham? He was on a show called Gotham. Yeah.
Used by major criminal organizations appears to have shaped Trump's signature piece of legislation, the Genius Act, while at the same time forging deep financial relationships with members of the executive branch. When it comes to potential crypto crimes, the call is coming from inside the White House. Some relevant background. In the midst of running for re-election in 2024, Donald Trump suddenly pivoted to embracing cryptocurrency, having previously called it a scam as recently as 2021. At the same time, Trump developed close ties to Howard Lutnick, the then chairman and CEO of financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald, Lutnick was a major fundraiser for Trump's campaign. According to the New York Times, he donated or raised more than $75 million for groups supporting Mr. Trump in the 2024 cycle. When Trump was reelected, he nominated Lutnick to be Secretary of Commerce, an office which he now holds. Lutnick has an extensive financial relationship with the largest crypto company in the world, Tether. Cantor Fitzgerald was then and remains to this day the broker for the offshore crypto giant. Not only that, but in 2024, Lutnick negotiated a deal that allowed Cantor to purchase a stake in Tether, worth multiple billions of dollars for only $600 million. Tether has issued 184 billion Tether tokens it claims are backed by $184 billion of real money and investments, but to this day, we still don't know if those claims are true.
Now that's the problem, is we're setting up this network of having to save the face of these companies based off of money that doesn't even exist, and people are pouring in. You know, people who are spending their savings pouring in this money while the rich keep getting richer, and they end up losing money. Leslie said, Lutnick and Trump scheming like they did back on Epstein Island. True. Cantor Fitzgerald, who worked for them?
Tether has never been audited, and in 2021, the company paid $61 million to settle claims brought by the New York Attorney General and the CFTC that it misled investors about its reserves. Much has been written about how Tether is used by organized crime all over the world. In a UN report from 2024, it notes that Tether is the, quote, preferred choice for crypto money launderers in Southeast Asia. Tethers have been used for international drug cartels, as well as by terrorist organizations like Hamas. They have been used for sanctions evasion and tax evasion in countries like Russia and Iran. The fact that our current Secretary of Commerce has a financial relationship with a company that issues a product which is an interest let me start over. The fact that our current Secretary of Commerce has a financial relationship with a company that issues a product which is an instrument of crime on a global scale ought to be troubling enough to warrant further investigation. But recent reporting lays out an even more disturbing fact pattern. Last week, Bloomberg released its investigation into how Tether influenced the White House on the Genius Act via Lutnick and Bo Hines, the then 29-year-old former college football player who was appointed executive director of the President's Council of Advisors on Digital Assets. According to Bloomberg, in late 24, through the following spring, Lutnick and Hines worked behind the scenes to loosen safeguards and shape the law in ways that benefited the world's dominant stablecoin issuer, Tether. What did Tether get out of the Genius Act? Under what is known as the reciprocity loophole, the Genius Act allows for Tether stablecoin to be regulated by El Salvador, as long as the U.S. Treasury Secretary determines the Salvadoran regulatory regime to be comparable to that of the U.S. In the course of my reporting, I have traveled to El Salvador, and I would be happy to answer any questions as to my experience there. But to put it mildly, Tether's relationship to El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, is unusual.
Rib tip, I am saying the mayor did not say that. What you were talking about is that one of his staff, I looked this up, these things you guys don't do. His staff, one of his members of his staff, after he announced the state-run grocery stores, came out and said that we would do a library-esque card. You guys decided to run with it to say that it was an ID card. I just played you where Mom Donnie made it clear it's not. What they meant was like every, you're done for today. Go away. Was like most grocery stores where you have a savings card, and that was misconstrued. But they are not requiring you to have a card for grocery stores, so you are incorrect there. Also, here for a moment, you're saying that ICE, the E stands for enforcement, that doesn't stop at the border. Unfortunately for you, ICE is specifically actually not Border Patrol. That's not their job. They do immigration and customs enforcement, yes, at some border entries, a lot of the times in places like airports, but they are internal. CBP is who you're talking about, works at the border. They work in conjunction with each other. And also, Navy vet, you're saying where I want to tax the rich more, they pay way too much already. What's the percentage that they pay? Yeah, it was Brian again. What's the percentage that they pay?
In addition to the reciprocity provision, the Genius Act carved out the DeFi loophole that absolves crypto companies like Tether from any obligation to track their products on secondary markets. This means criminals of all kinds can continue to use Tethers while the company can continue to claim no responsibility. Lastly, the Genius Act contains a 3-year grace period before companies like Tether have to comply with U.S. law. According to Bloomberg, some Democrats wanted 18 months, but Hines stepped in and announced that 3 years was the White House's, quote, red line. Where did this red line come from? Was it at the behest of Tether executives? In August 2025, Bo Hines left his position in the administration 1 month after the bill was signed into law. The very next month, he became the CEO of Tether's U.S. operations.
So he worked within the administration to help get this passed, to allow Tether to be used to issue stablecoin, and then he went and got a job privately in that sector? And you're telling me there's no corruption there within this administration in the allowance of this? With Lutnick?
The month after that, October 2025, Tether executives made a loan to a trust benefiting Howard Lutnick's children while they were in the process of purchasing their father's business interests. It's worth noting that the Trump family itself has also profited from Tether, albeit indirectly. In December 2024, Tether invested $775 million in the money-losing company Rumble, which runs President Trump's Truth Social platform. We still don't know the exact contours of the financial relationships between President Trump, Secretary Lutnick, Bo Hines, and Tether. But one thing is abundantly clear. The Lutnick family, Bo Hines, and the President of the United States have benefited from their relationships with the shady offshore crypto company. We can't vote on clarity unless we know what happened with the Genius Act. The American public deserves to know more about their financial ties to Tether. I encourage the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations to pursue that line of inquiry. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you, Senator.
All right. So, just things to keep track of. Trying to combat crypto and the ability for them to scam people while the administration makes money hand over fist about it. Navy vet is really, really upset. The mayor of New York City is a communist. You are in stage 1 of communism. Start out with socialism, then move it all into government. No, he's also not a communist. He is a democratic socialist. Those are two different things. Cute. But again, proving my point that the Republican platform is to fearmonger and whine. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. He is literally standing behind the lady saying it in the video, so it wasn't a lie, it was said. I said that, Rib Tip! I said he didn't say it. You said, so you're saying he didn't say it? I said, yeah, he didn't say it. One of the staff in his administration said, we will do a system like a library-esque card. He then came out to clarify on the Joy Reid show, which is what I fucking played, where he said you do not need an ID to go use or buy anything from this grocery store. His press secretary confirmed it. What the fuck are you talking about? I did. I literally did. Anyways, W's to Oh Me Oh My for the 3723 over here on PayPal. I know you said it fucked up your math. I was wondering. That's why my phone didn't give me the notification, which was weird. But thank you so much for it. You said Blanche reminds me of Jack Kelly from Always Sunny episode when defending Epstein. What is it? Always Sunny, especially when defending Epstein stuff. Got you. And you tried to give me the math, but then the math was wrong because we fucked up the math. I did the math. It's 49.73. We're okay. I did that while we were sitting here. But W's to Oh Me Oh My. That's not your bad. That's not your bad at all. It's fine. You guys enjoy watching me struggle. It's got to be painful to watch. Like, what are you talking about? Let me hold on a second. Trying to see who was it? Was Jeannie Pack. Like, I played it. I fucking played it. Jesus. Let me read this, please. Would be nice. Okay. Mamdani's office denies there will be ID requirement for city-owned grocery stores after MAGA erupts. I don't know why it threw me all the way down there. That's crazy. Anyway, MAGA figures on Monday circulated a days-old clip of Mamdani being asked how the city would keep people from taking advantage of the grocery stores, which will offer about a 30% discount on some essential items compared to average prices, in which he said it was a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. What he's saying is he doesn't want people taking it and reselling it. Mamdani then called New York City Economic Development Corporation head Jenny Pack to the podium to elaborate, and she said, quote, "We are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be sort of a library card-esque system, and also we manage who's buying that is focused on everyday New Yorkers." By the way, I don't know if you know, even if library cards are free. Don't know if you know that. You can sign up for them for free. The SAVE Act doesn't do the same thing, so the fact that that's, oh my God, why? Why? I hate Forbes. Forbes is a terrible website. It really, really is. Stop. Hold on, let me see if I can get the link here. Even if it was, it's free. Not in comparison to what you would need for voting. And also, by the way, buying from a grocery store isn't being able to. Not all right. Okay. Let's try this again. MAGA, seizing on the opportunity to attack socialist Mamdani and promote the SAVE Act, alleged the comments meant that Democrats support ID for some things, such as city-run grocery stores, but won't support proof of citizenship to register to vote. "I wish they'd have an ID to access the voting booth," Trump said when asked about Mamdani's potential ID requirement, also accusing the mayor of having a thing where you had to have two different IDs to shovel snow. To get paid like employment, you had to have ID to prove that you would get paid, because that's employment. We do that for everything in this country. Elon Musk tweeted, "Oh, the irony is too much." Senator Rick Scott wrote, "It's not just ironic, it's hypocritical." And former Los Angeles Republican mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt tweeted, "Racist commie Mamdani," that's insanity, "is going to make you show ID in his markets. You want your government subsidized arugula? Show your papers. Ask for the ID." But the mayor's office told Forbes in the wake of the backlash Monday that anyone can shop at the stores regardless of residency or income without presenting an ID, and Pac was referring to a loyalty card program of sorts that won't be tied to an ID or address. Okay. You don't seem to understand consent. Capitalism has you done for the day. Call back tomorrow. Crucial quote, "Comparisons to voter ID laws or the SAVE Act simply do not apply. This is not an identification system, nor is it a mechanism to verify who someone is, where they live, or how much they earn. It is a practical inventory management tool to ensure affordable groceries remain available for the people who need them instead of being cleared off shelves for resale," Mamdani spokesperson Casio Mendoza said. Trump and his allies also criticized Mamdani for requiring two forms of ID to participate in the city's emergency snow shoveling program earlier this year, though Mamdani pointed out the city was simply complying with longstanding federal employment verification. What do you not understand about consent?
What is your problem, dude?
What do you not understand about consent?
I have something to say about the SAVE Act.
I don't care. What about the SAVE Act do you have?
What the hell? No, but what is this? What is your problem,
It's not Brian. My bad.
This is the first time I call into your show. Today.
That is not your real voice. That's not your real voice, and you didn't lose it watching baseball. That's insanity.
I went to a baseball game.
Which game did you go to?
The Mets versus Marlins in Citi Field.
And you were cheering that loud?
Yes, I was right behind home plate.
Who won?
The Marlins. The
By
Mets
what?
suck. 2-0, you idiot.
Okay. What do you want to talk about with the SAVE Act?
No, now I don't want to talk to you about shit. You
Then stop calling me. You called me 3 times, then don't call me. Okay. Bye. Bye, bitch. Bye. 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 Yes, the Marlins did win 2-0. Like, what? I don't care. I don't want to talk to you at all now. Oh, sorry. I don't need that. I'm going to put that over here, though. So, no, Rib Tip. You want to say he backpedaled it? Fine. If you want, fine, Rib Tip. If you want to say he backpedaled it and that they backpedaled on it, fine. To be clear, the only thing she said was about a library-esque card, which would be free. So how about you come out now, Rib Tip? I'm with you. You come out now, and you have the Republicans backpedal on forcing people to get documents that require money to get voter ID. How about that? Let's make voter ID free for eligible voters. How about that? I'll be with you. Totally. Done. Awesome. Okay. We did a lot on, we did the entire thing on RFK Jr. yesterday, so I did want to show this. This was just kind of a little update. I just want a reminder that people were pushing back on Trump's bullshit even then, to sit here and try and rewrite history once again. Like Fauci was over here, and lying to these people as if he wasn't a part of Trump's administration is silly. As if to say people weren't pushing back on the shit Trump was saying. Trump was lying to our faces about it. And we knew that. So this was a CBS News reporter in 2020 pushing back on Trump in 2020 about his lies.
Same thing about you, that you should have warned them the virus was spreading like wildfire through the month of February instead of holding rallies with thousands of people. Why did you wait so long to warn them?
Who you with?
And why did you not have social distancing until March 16th?
Who you with?
I'm Weijia Jiang with...
Because he's going to attack the news organization. You see how he's been doing this for so long? It's been his tactic. Just attack the news organization. Don't answer the question.
CBS News.
So,
no, he didn't.
If you look at what I did in terms of cutting off or banning China from coming in.
Chinese nationals. But by the way, not Americans who are also coming from China.
Nice and easy. Just relax. We cut it off. People were amazed. These gentlemen, everybody was amazed that I did it. We had 21 people in a room. Everybody was against it but me. Dr. Fauci said, had I not done that, perhaps tens of thousands, and maybe much more than that, people would have died.
Oh, he's referencing Fauci. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. He's referencing that Fauci gave him commendations for his suggestion. Oh, okay.
I was very early, very, very early. And we just you saw Bret Baier making a statement. They had a debate well into February. And not even mentioned, it wasn't even mentioned, the Democrats. We were very early. Oh, I'm the president. And you know what I just...
Yes, you're the president. You are the president. So yes, you are going to get those questions about how your administration is handling a fucking pandemic that you lied about, that you knew about and you lied about. You even admitted you lied about it to mitigate panic. Yeah.
Did.
So quickly.
And you know what I just...
And by the way, when you issued the ban, the virus was already here.
Okay, and you know how many people when I issued...
He issued a travel ban to try to mitigate the virus. It was already here, and he already knew it was.
The ban? How many cases of virus were in the United States when I issued the ban? Do you know the number?
There was...
No, how many cases? Remember I said one person. How many cases were here when I issued the ban?
But
Tell
did
me.
you know...
No, you have to do your research. How many...
I did my research. I'm the 20...
Cap, I don't have to prove anything, remember? Because you beat women, and we all know that. And I don't have to prove it because we all know it. Cap, that's your burden of proof. So that's the burden of proof I'm going to have with you. I don't have to prove anything because we all know it. Cap.
23rd of March, you said you knew this was going to be a pandemic.
Can I tell you what? I did know it. I did know it. All I have to do is look.
So you knew
Anybody knew it. Just, are you ready? How many cases were in the United States when I did my ban?
Navy vet, I don't know if this is true or not, but you said states with strict photo ID requirements for voting, such as Indiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee, are legally required to provide a free state photo ID specifically for voting purposes if the resident does not already have one. I'd be fine with that. If that's true, if that's a fact, I'm fine with that. Do that. Provide a free one. That's fine.
How many people had died in the United States?
So do you acknowledge that you didn't think...
Keep your voice down, please. Keep your voice down.
Did you not...
How many...
How about fuck you? That's just him being a misogynist, by the way. How about fuck you?
How many cases were in the United States? I did a ban where I'm closing up the entire country. How many people died?
Oh, it's Trump's fault. He closed the entire country. It's his fault.
How many people died in the United States? And yet I closed up the country, and I believe there were no deaths, 0 deaths at the time I closed up the country. Nobody was there. And you should say thank you very much for good judgment. Go ahead.
1 million people died and it was your fault, to be honest. Like, died because of your want to save your own skin. People died. No, thank you. Absolutely not. But I wanted to go into this in way of healthcare too that I hadn't gotten to. This is PBS citing a new study on how the bans are hurting women, the abortion bans, how abortion bans are hurting women who are not seeking abortions at all. Who could have seen that coming? Who could have warned you that that was going to happen?
You want to go outside?
Alicia Fields grew up in Kentucky. After
Guys, while we were sitting here, let's make sure that we are still doing the good things. I see that we are almost to 300,000 likes. You guys are doing fucking amazing. There's no reason we can't get way beyond that to a higher number than I've ever had. As Sparky put it, let's get to 369. So I would appreciate that. Keep doing the good things. Guys, I have the little high bears, the little gummy bears. If we could get those accomplished, I would appreciate it so very much. Thank you, Surgeon, by the way, for the gifted sub over on Twitch. We appreciate it so much. And I have 49.73 left in my goal with about an hour, a little bit less than an hour left. Can we please start working on this goal? $1 train, $2 train, $5 train. We can get this accomplished. Let's get this down. Let's start working on it. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. While we watch this, keep tapping and sporting.
medical school, she and her husband Marcus moved to New York for her residency in obstetrics and gynecology.
There's me. I had my first baby in residency.
After graduation, the family moved to this rural Kentucky community in June 2022.
Hi. How's your day?
Oh,
great.
How are you doing?
Good.
Her 3 boys know that their mom delivers babies, but Dr. Field says practicing medicine here in Kentucky has changed since the state's near-total abortion ban went into effect almost 4 years ago.
We had a case not that long ago where the patient had been seen. She had a really horrible pregnancy history of multiple pre-viable deliveries and losses and preterm labor, and ultimately came in laboring, but she still had a pregnancy with a heartbeat, and she was begging us to do something to please make this just be done. She knew that at 17 weeks, a pregnancy could not survive on the outside, and she was just stuck waiting. And ultimately, we were stuck waiting until she got infected and was sick enough to intervene and do something.
Under Kentucky law, physicians can perform abortions only when patients face death or permanent damage to a major organ. There are no exceptions for pregnancies resulting from rape or incest or fatal fetal conditions.
How did you deal with watching this patient of yours be in pain and suffer?
It really is difficult to sit back and feel like your hands are tied and that you can't help.
I am reading it, Navy. I'm focused right now as well that I'm playing a clip on how women's health is being affected by these fucking abortion bans from you ridiculous motherfucking people. But what I'm also reading is, did you fucking read it? Did you fucking read it? I posted it in my live chat in Discord for my community to read it. Did you fucking read it? About how it actually makes it, even the free IDs are difficult to obtain? Did you read that? Okay.
Them. You can't do anything. You can sit with them, you can hold space with them, you can support them, but you can't do anything for them.
Doctors here face up to 5 years in prison and the loss of their medical license if they go against the ban.
That's very terrifying and humbling as a physician to work so long and hard to get to this point in my career and finally be practicing, and any sort of legal charge that would take that all away is scary. I'm the sole income provider for my family. They depend on me for everything financially and health insurance. And
I'm so sorry to interrupt this very, very serious subject, but I have to do this every single time it comes up. Drake. I love proving mods what a bunch of hypocrites they are since they don't care about freedom of speech and act like dictators. Drake, guys, don't mute him yet. Don't do it yet. I have a question for Drake. Drake, what are the first 5 words of the First Amendment? Okay, or Justin, fine. What are the first 5 words of the First Amendment? What are the first 5 words? Because I didn't know that I was Congress. I thought I was on a private platform. Aw, Navy, are you upset that Eli read what you fucking sent? I'm not being fragile. My number is on the fucking screen. You can call me. My number's on the screen, Drake. Unless I have chosen to drop you or capitalism has done the job for me, my number's on the fucking screen. Cry harder.
So that's a huge risk.
We are practicing in a place where people are so scared. And that's a terrible way to practice.
800 miles away in Houston, Dr. Anitra Beasley feels that same dread. The prison sentences here are steep, up to 99 years, and the threat of civil lawsuits by so-called bounty hunters.
So when you are saying, can this person have an abortion? You're not just thinking about, is it what this patient needs? You may also be thinking about, what is this going to mean for me? What does it mean if I make the wrong decision? What if someone sues me? Am I going to still be able to practice medicine? Am I going to still be able to take care of my family? Am I still going to be able to see my family? Will I be in jail?
Dr. Beasley grew up here, and today she lives in a leafy Houston neighborhood with her husband and 3 kids. As an OBGYN, she treats mostly poor and uninsured Texans.
They walk into the room and are unsure if they can trust the information that they are getting from their physician.
From you.
Right. And so I might not be able to convince someone that I am trustworthy simply because of the environment that we are in.
31 ayes, no nays.
Republicans in the state legislature and the Texas Medical Board have attempted to clarify when physicians like Dr. Beasley can intervene to prevent a medical catastrophe. The board recently disciplined 3 Texas doctors who delayed giving medical care to 2 pregnant patients experiencing miscarriage. The women died as a result.
Now they're gonna call. Yes.
Yes, hello. I would like to apologize on my behalf. I went back and looked at the recording and saw you thought that I was somebody else faking.
I did.
So, okay, I do apologize for my outrage. But, okay. So, yeah, the SAVE Act, right, would require people to show proof of U.S. citizenship when registering for federal elections, right? I believe this is great, right, for people who do have it.
Do we not already do that?
Yes, we do. Yes, we
Okay.
do. But
So why do we need to do it again?
To have it concrete so that the next
It already
person-
is. It already is
remains
concrete.
continuous, so no one can amend it, no one can change it, no one can.
It already is law. It's already law. This would be redundant. We call it redundant law. We're writing the same thing
So
already.
what's the point of the SAVE Act? See, these Trump idiots, that's why you got to get them out of office.
I agree. I agree. Stop voting for
Florida.
people who are for Trump. The issue is that this is a voter suppression bill because that already is the law. What they want to do is they want to amend it so that we can get rid of things like mail-in voting, except for very specific circumstances. They would also like to start trying to chip away at online registration so that you are forced to register in person, where a lot of these people in rural areas, their election office is miles away from where they live, so that takes time. Like it suppresses the vote and people will just choose not to.
What I was thinking was more on the other end of the spectrum, which I do agree with you 100% on that. I was thinking on the other end of the spectrum, which was like the Biden votes when they were let me not say Biden, when the Democrats brought, let me not say that either. So when the migrant horde came up from the South and dissipated all over America, they came here. Right, and they were brought here specifically and intentionally to vote Democrat. They were given money,
No.
housing,
Incorrect.
all this to vote
Nope.
Democrat.
Incorrect. None of that happened.
So what? How? Why were they brought here?
Prove to me they were brought here. Prove to me they were brought here.
I mean, there was a huge horde of people. If they would have been stopped down at the south border a long time ago before making it up to New
That's
York.
not proving to me. And also, even if they were, they can't vote, right? We just talked about how you have to prove your
No,
citizenship
they
to
can
register to
vote.
vote.
They could vote in these sanctuary cities. They
No,
were
they
voting
can't.
For,
Show me
for,
that.
For,
Show me
for
what saying.
Biden, for
I
Biden.
live in
Google.
Denver. They cannot vote in elections.
Oh, you guys got that good butt out there, huh?
Yes, but they cannot
good
vote in
stuff.
elections.
Okay, give me 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
Can immigrants? Oh, these are the ones who came in from the south and claimed asylum.
Oh,
These
so
are
they had
not-
legal status. They also still couldn't vote. Asylum
yes, but
seekers
it's a
can't vote.
loophole.
They can't vote.
Or whatever their specialized status was, they
That's
were
the
allowed
law.
to vote.
You just don't like the law. If they,
No. I'm just saying the fact. No,
it's not a fact that
uphold
they
the
can
law.
vote. Asylum seekers still can't vote.
No, not, so they may not have been asylum seekers. I just got the first thing I saw of Google because I don't want to read you prompts. I want to speak.
Well,
to
yeah,
you
don't
like
use AI overview for your
No,
facts.
I'm not using that.
Okay.
So whatever they, not asylum seekers, whatever they classified themselves as, right?
No.
They were allowed to vote.
Prove that.
I cannot prove it. What I've seen with my own eyes and heard with my own ears.
You've seen immigrants voting in elections with your own eyes.
Yes. They said I spoke. No, not voting. They told me they voted for Biden.
And did you turn them into the authorities?
Of course not. I love immigrants.
Okay, so then you don't care about crime, so why are you bringing it up? Because they committed a crime, and it's upwards of a 5-year sentence and deportation if they did so. So we should probably turn them in.
Hey, that's on them.
No, it's not on them. It's not on them. How were they? Did you ask them how they were able to vote?
I did not. They just
Did you
said
ask
they
them
let
what their
us vote for
status
Biden.
is?
They said we came here. That's it. We
They
came
said
America.
we came here. You know that they could be naturalized citizens, and then you do gain the right to vote, right?
No, they were Venezuelans.
They could be
They-
naturalized citizens, and then they gain their right to vote, right?
No, they were homeless. They came here and they.
How were
came
you
here
talking to them?
Face to face.
No. Why were you in interaction with these people?
Sandwiches. I donated.
Why were
supplies.
you in interaction with these people?
I was handing out.
I know,
what is this
Vincent.
called? I gave my time to help these people. I made sandwiches.
Okay. You were helping out the
bologna
homeless,
sandwiches,
and
cheese
you and
The
you,
migrants,
while
not
you
just
hold
the
on,
homeless, the migrants.
hold on, while you were helping out the homeless, they said, "I'm an immigrant who came here and voted."
Yes.
Things that never happened for 500, Alex.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. Prove to me that they're voting.
I cannot prove. I wish I had
know
the
you
medic
can't.
chip in
I know
my
you
brain.
can't.
I would pull
Which
out
is
the footage,
why
but I
it
cannot.
is silly, because
But
even
this
the
is
Heritage, hold on. Do you know who the Heritage Foundation is?
They ring a bell.
Okay. They wrote Project 2025. They are a conservative right-wing think tank. They keep track of these numbers of fraudulent voters, whether that is immigrants or fraudulent voting in a way of like voting twice. They literally have different subsections that you can click if you go to the Heritage Foundation, and they are tracking this. And the rate with which this is happening, voter fraud, is about 0.0001%. So
But it
we
is
don't
still
need the
happening.
SAVE Act because it's not a problem that is overturning our elections. Immigrants cannot vote. They are not allowed to vote. If they do, that is a crime.
Okay, but crime happens every day.
Yes, but this crime specifically is not happening at a rate that is overturning
Okay, it
elections.
happens every 2 to 4 years.
It is not happening at a rate that is overturning the results of elections.
I agree, but is it
Okay.
enough to put a scuff in it? Is it enough to put a
No.
dent in it?
No. 'Cause it's being
like
caught.
a drop of bucket in the water, right?
Correct.
So that's still more water than you had before. And what if it's
Do
a
you
drop of
do you
dirty
think it's
water?
possible? Do you think it's possible to keep to keep votes to 100% citizens? Do you think that is a possibility
No, of
ever?
course not. No.
Okay.
That we're America.
So then I
This
agree
is
with you.
the
So
land
then
of
what
the
we
free
are
and home of the
talking
brave.
about is that in any aspect of whatever topic we're talking about, criminals are going to criminal. But we are
Exactly.
seeing that it is not at a rate that is effectuated at all in our voting. So there is no need for this. What this does is it makes it harder for U.S. citizens to vote.
That's exact. You know what? You're right. When you're right, you're right. I
But what I will
recede
say,
my claim.
yes, but what I will say is that I have no problem personally with voter ID, but I want you to make that free or make it so the application to get whatever documents you need to get it free, or else it is a poll tax and it is unconstitutional, and I do not agree with it.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, easy.
All righty. No, thank you for bringing that to light. I had no idea. When was the SAVE Act actually implemented?
It's not. It has failed like 4 times, 5 times in the Senate. They can't get it passed.
So why do these bozos keep trying to pass it?
Because Donald Trump wants it passed, and what Donald Trump wants, he thinks he gets because he's a big baby.
Oh, man, I hate these fucking Republicans. I'm sorry. All right, let me let you go.
All right,
Have a good one. I'm sorry for before.
It's okay. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks.
I mean, to be fair, I also thought he was someone else, so that's my bad, because I thought he was Brian. So that's my bad. My fault. We'll end with that as a good conversation. Huge W's to Luka for finishing out the rest of the goal with 49.73 for a ban. That is a fucking ban for fucking sure. I usually do $50 for a ban, but I'm just gonna add the like 27 cents that Vincent, excuse me, I don't know why I said Victor. Vincent sent me, and we're gonna call that a ban. So that one's gonna get added in there. So that is, I have to write the whole name so that I can write it on my Google sheet for later, so that he can be done. I don't know what you did to get on Luka's bad side, but you did bad. Ruben, SAVE Act is good. If you can't get your documents in line, maybe you shouldn't be voting. The problem with that, Ruben, hi, Ruben. Bye, Ruben. The problem with that, Ruben, is that it is a constitutional right to vote. It is your constitutional right to vote. So it's not about what you can and cannot get, because it was given to you by our founding fathers as a right.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe none of the above, and they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. And remember, while you may contribute to their degradation kink, side eyes at you, Ruben, we don't kink shame, but it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why. Additionally, we offer that if there is a guest you would like to drop for any reason at all, you can get rid of them for the entire day for as little as $10. And if there's somebody you would like to get rid of forever and never see again in this stream, you can have them banned for as little as $50. Pay links in the bio.
Thank you, Eli, for that. Always love being able to use that. We appreciate it. Okay, that one's written in there. Thank you, by the way, Vincent, for this. As we talked about, I didn't get a chance to do that, but as he's talking about the migrant horde, the caravans that came, this was in 2022. Florida and Texas pull partisan stunt by sending migrants to New York City, D.C., and Martha's Vineyard. Republican governors are escalating their partisan tactics of sending migrants to Democratic strongholds without advance warning, including a wealthy summer enclave in Massachusetts and the home of Vice President Kamala Harris, to taunt leaders of immigrant-friendly sanctuary cities and stoke opposition to Biden administration's border policies. The governors of Texas and Arizona have sent thousands of migrants on buses to New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. in recent months, but the latest surprise moves, which included two flights to Martha's Vineyard Wednesday, September 14th, paid for by Florida, reached a new level of political theater that critics derided as inhumane. We've talked about this a lot. What you're saying, when we talk about, they always talk about it. Oh, they came to New York, and they were sent there by, specifically when we're talking about Governor Abbott, we're talking about Governor DeSantis. They were sent there. And what you guys don't understand is if they were illegal immigrants sent there by the governor, that would be human trafficking. Okay? I still think it's human trafficking in this instance as well. They were asylum seekers, meaning they had legal status, and then they used their funds to send them to New York, a place that does not get as much federal funding for immigration like Texas does. And they didn't send that funding with them. And they did it to pull a stunt so that you guys would look at what's hoarding into our cities. It's silly. It has always been silly. This has been long debunked. I don't know why we keep doing this. Anyway, I would like to get back to women's health and abortion. We were like halfway through this and how abortion bans are harming women's health completely. W's to Scuba Steve for the $2 to mute Ruben. Ruben gets another day. And no, I won't tell you when he comes back. Because then he'll know when he gets to come back. And I would like it to be a surprise for him.
You know, I have to say, from the laws that I have read that are currently on the books, I think that they are actually very clear.
Dr. Christina Francis says the confusion and hesitation experienced by Dr. Fields and Dr. Beasley is unnecessary. She works at a hospital in Indiana, taking care of women in labor or those hospitalized for pregnancy complications or emergencies.
I think the problem is that many doctors have not actually read the law or haven't talked to lawyers who are accurately interpreting what the law means.
We met her in Washington, D.C., where Dr. Francis spends part of her time advocating against abortion as the head of the American Association of Pro-Life OBGYNs.
I wonder how many of these physicians that are afraid to act, has anyone told them that there have been, Texas, for instance, has documented hundreds of terminations of pregnancy since their law went into effect for their life of the mother exception. Not a single doctor has been charged or prosecuted because of their intervention in that situation.
I mean, they're reading the same laws that you're reading, and they're working in hospital systems that are interpreting this to mean, how sick do you have to be?
Jeff, don't start. Don't make me be mean to you. Do not come into my chat and write L abortions. Don't start.
That you couldn't get ahead of a sepsis infection, that you couldn't do an abortion until you had a fever of some amount, right?
There's nothing in any law that says that a woman has to be a certain level of sick before you can intervene. It says in your reasonable medical judgment, if you think that this condition potentially poses a life-threatening or poses.
And that's part of the problem, though. The problem is how murky it is, because what it does is it has these doctors in fear, trying, and that we have seen a fleeing. Doctors, like OBGYNs, have been fleeing these states like Texas and Florida, and states like this because of these laws. They don't know if they are allowed to use their medical determination of what is life-threatening, or else they're going to have their license revoked or worse, be charged for criminal acts under this law. And it is leading to, again, OBGYNs fleeing, and it is leading to women dying. That is what is happening because they can't make the determination. Yeah, for murder, being charged for murder. They cannot make the determination on what is life-threatening, even though they can medically, because they're scared of what the law is going to say.
Is a life-threatening risk to a patient.
It says to save the life of a woman.
Sure, but there's
potential.
Anthony, the woman is not more important than the child. The child and the woman have the same rights. You guys are trying to give it special rights. We don't do that.
There's no time in medicine. There's no other time in medicine in which we wait until someone is actively dying. If there was a time that we could intervene. I mean, certainly sometimes women come in and they're on the verge of death and you haven't had the opportunity to intervene. But there's not another time in medicine or in law that dictates medicine where we interpret saving a patient's life to only mean intervening once they are on the verge of death.
Dr. Anitra Beasley argues there are no laws that can account for all the complexities of pregnancy.
It's like if my house was on fire and the firefighters came in their truck and they connected their hoses and they had all the water and they had all of the equipment that they needed, and they just stood there and said, I can't help you. That's what it feels like.
Dr. Francis says she's never felt that way in Indiana.
just my group alone, I don't know the exact number, but patients that I can think of over the last few years, it's at least dozens of patients who we have intervened in a pre-viable state because she was facing a potentially life-threatening complication.
I would like to see a study on that, and not just her anecdotal evidence of a dozen. I would like to see the study.
And again, we haven't even gotten a second look from the hospital because, of course, we just do what we need to do to take care of our patients.
Dr. Field says she would love to do just that, but the laws in Kentucky have fundamentally changed how she's allowed to practice medicine.
Why have you chosen to stay?
I think for every day that I have a hard scenario of one of these situations that I want to just like bang my fist against the wall, you know, I have moments on the other side where I have those patients that are so appreciative of the fact that they have a reproductive health care provider in this state, in a rural area, that's going to listen to them without shame, without guilt, and validate their experiences. So that's why I stay, because they deserve access to good care.
Have you ever thought of leaving Texas?
I think everyone probably has. It's really hard to practice medicine with your hands tied behind your back, but this is where I'm from. My home is here, my family is here, my community is here. This is where I've built my life. So just packing that all up to go somewhere else and start over is difficult. But also, I care about my community.
For PBS NewsHour, I'm Sarah Varney.
So, it is put 3 different perspectives from 3 different OBGYNs in 3 different scenarios, but all in states with restrictive abortion bans. We are seeing that it is harming women, but for some reason you guys don't seem to care. Oh, wait, I know why. Because you don't care about women. Anyway, W's again to Scuba Steve for the 8. You said, fuck it, mute Ruben for the week. P.S. Fuck ice. Fuck ice. And thank you. Ruben gets another week. He gets a day in a week now. That's what he gets. So thank you. That's going to be great. Love that for him. He's going to be really appreciative of that. Okay, I wanted to get to this before we end. So hopefully this might take the entire time. We'll see. Let's go back to Max Miller. Speaking of not caring for women. Oh, by the way, thank you guys so much. Yes, let me give you your commendations before we move on to this. 353,000 likes. You guys are doing fucking fantastic. I'm so proud and happy with you guys. You guys are doing fucking amazing. Thank you guys. I've never gotten this high in likes. You guys are doing amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's move on to Max Miller. As we've talked about, Max Miller has allegations against him from his ex-wife, who happens to be Senator Bernie Moreno's daughter, claims of domestic violence and abuse. And Trump was asked about it. He was asked if Max Miller should resign and pull out from the race and then resign from Congress.
A lot of people like it. A lot of big supporters of Trump like it.
Mr. President, there's been some domestic abuse allegations against Congressman Max Miller.
I just learned about it.
He should resign.
Well, I'm going to look at it. I mean, so far it's accusations.
Oh, it's a Republican's favorite word. Mike Johnson said this too, except he used the term allegations. It's accusations. Even if there's accusations, they should step down. They should step down. I don't think you get to work in a legislative capacity, in a governmental capacity, if you have these kinds of allegations. No.
I'll be looking at it.
Sir, you guys do anything.
He's going to look at it. Sure, he's going to look at it. So, I'm not going to play the entire thing. It was 21 minutes. I'm going to play this piece. Max Miller came on and did a live stream. It was like a 20-minute live stream trying to clear his name. I'm just going to let it speak for itself. Women or anyone who has experienced interpersonal partner violence is going to be a trigger warning. There are terms that he uses and phrases that he uses that you're going to recognize immediately. And I just want you to be prepared for the victim-blaming rhetoric that he is going to use in this 2-minute clip. Okay? But for those who can stay and can hear it, I want you to recognize it as well. This is shit we hear all the time in regards to abuse. All the time.
My former wife has claimed that during a custody exchange at my home that day, I assaulted her. Here's what actually happened, and I have the Ring doorbell footage that backs it up. She came to my home in a good mood, and we have text messages to prove it, which you'll have, to pick up our daughter early for a friend's birthday party. She was inside my house for several minutes when she left. The video shows her walking out, carrying our daughter calm, in the same good mood, showing no distress whatsoever. And as they left, you can hear me say, "Goodbye, I love you, and I love you, Ruthie," literally telling my ex-wife that I still cared for her. Does that sound like somebody who would just walk out and who had been violently thrown a wall and been abused? She didn't call the police after that. She didn't go to the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to know what she did? She went straight to a child's birthday party. The very next day, we had a friendly phone call about our daughter's upcoming hospital procedure, and I drove in from Washington to be there for it. 6 days later, she offered to cook empanadas for me for dinner, just 2 days later after this alleged incident. The day after that, she invited me and my girlfriend, and which you'll have in text messages, to join her and our daughter at a playground. And that day, I just went with my former wife to the playground to spend time with our daughter. A week later, on February 15th, she wrote to me in her own words, which you will see, "I think it's great you and I are in a friendlier place." She then offered me more extra overnights with our daughter, which I can prove to every single one of you as recently. Every one of these messages is time-stamped on our court-sanctioned co-parenting app and is all in the packet. Only weeks later did the story of February 1st assault appear, so ask yourself, if I had assaulted her, would she have offered to cook me dinner 6 days later? Would she have invited me to spend an afternoon at the playground with her and our daughter? Would she have written that we were in a friendlier place? No, she wouldn't have, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, she would have. Yes, she would have. Yes. Because that's what people in abusive situations, who have children in abusive situations do, is try to placate the abuser to save themselves or at least save their child. Yeah, exactly, Dawn. He did everything he's fucking accused of. Every single fucking thing. By the way, he released voice recordings that he had of one of their fights. Remember, she accused him of throwing scalding water on her. He said they were horseplaying in the kitchen. Never seen horseplay involve scalding water. In one of the recorded conversations he had of this fight that happened, he says in it, "I didn't think that the water hurt you." So you did throw it on her. Okay, so you did throw it on her. You admit that you throw it on her. Okay. He put that out to help him. Yes, people who are in abusive situations absolutely will try to maintain the peace for themselves or their children, hoping that as long as you don't get mad, you won't hit them. As long as you don't get mad, you won't yell at them. As long as you won't get mad, you won't raise your hand. Yeah, no, that's exactly what victims do. We have read studies on it that's exactly what victims do. Bullshit. It's bullshit. God. And yet, the GOP will do what the GOP does. Senator Bernie Moreno finally stood up for his daughter, finally. Senator Moreno says ex-son-in-law Max Miller shouldn't serve in Congress amid abuse claims as Miller vows to stay in the race. GOP Senator Moreno of Ohio said on Sunday that his former son-in-law, Representative Max Miller, shouldn't serve in Congress amid swirling abuse claims, as Miller vowed to stay in the race for another term and strongly denied all allegations of misconduct. If there are any basic standards of character required to hold elected office, Max Miller fails them, Moreno said in a post on X. He should not serve in the House of Representatives. Miller's re-election campaign has been plagued in recent weeks by allegations of abuse against his ex-wife, the senator's daughter, Emily Moreno, and their child that have emerged in legal filings. The second-term Ohio Republican responded to the accusations in a live stream on X earlier Sunday, in which he said allegations that he abused his daughter or his ex-wife, were false. The statements came after Miller's ex-wife asked a court to issue a restraining order last week, blocking the Ohio Republican from contacting her lawyer. So we read into this, we saw this, you guys can keep reading it. He said it was, he says that these allegations are false, but bullshit. It's bullshit, it's bullshit, it's bullshit. But it gets worse. At least Bernie Moreno finally grew a spine. Rick Scott actually has one, surprisingly. I was surprised by this, not gonna lie.
Senator, what's with the double standard when it comes to how Republicans and Democrats deal with sexual misconduct?
Now, let's talk about, I apologize for having Skeletor stare into your soul while I describe this. And Jesus Christ, you should see it on my big screen over here. It's terrifying. The double standard is the fact that men are shitty. We know. That is regardless of their political affiliation. Okay? That includes people like Anthony Weiner. That includes people like Al Franken. That includes people like, God, why did I just forget his fucking name? Who's the one running for governor that we just got rid of? Swalwell. Eric Swalwell. Including Eric Swalwell. Including Graham Plattner. What's the difference, though? Because immediately when those allegations came out, they were thrown out of the party. They were told to resign. They were told to step down. And they did. Because we fucking told them to. Because we do not allow that on this side of the aisle, but you guys elect them to be president of the United States. And you continue to defend them. Max Miller is only the one getting the largest amount of headlines right now. We haven't even talked about Corey Mills. The Republicans don't talk about Corey Mills, who has domestic violence allegations. The Republicans don't do anything about that. Why? Because they want to keep power. They want to keep the vote. And yes, as Nat points out, it's a fucking bare minimum. It's the goddamn bare minimum to throw them out. No, Finna, the allegations that he had was that he cheated on his wife. He cheated on his wife and the Nazi tattoo. Those were the allegations we had of Plattner originally, except for a unnamed Republican source. Then it came out about the assault and abuse allegations, and then it was immediate. Done. So why is there a double standard within the GOP? They ask fucking Skeletor, stop staring at me like that. Jesus Christ. Ask about the double standard. Fucking hell.
Senator, what's with the double standard when it comes to how Republicans and Democrats deal with sexual misconduct?
But there shouldn't be a double standard.
But there is currently, with Corey Mills, Max Miller.
There should not be a double standard.
What should happen?
Well, if you first off, you shouldn't be in office, right? And everybody should be held accountable.
So, are you saying that Max Miller and these should resign, or what to do to get them out of office?
But the best thing is the public's going to take them out of office.
Okay. So you're very much against what they've done, and you believe that Bernie Moreno's daughter.
I think it ought to be very transparent and let the voters make a decision.
But even that is not holding him accountable. You are not calling for him to resign. You are saying that the voters should vote him out. That's not enough, Rick Scott. That's not enough. For being Skeletor, you have no spine. Grow a spine. Well, it continues. This is Representative Petronis on News Nation being asked if Max Miller should resign.
I'd be remiss not to ask you about the latest scandal that's rocking Congress, the abuse allegations against Ohio Republican Congressman Max.
You said was Max Miller charged? He has a lot of ongoing legal fights in the divorce proceeding with his wife. Yes, she has a restraining order for her. He does still have custody of his daughter, not full sole custody. They have shared custody, joint custody of their daughter. But there are restraining orders, legal filings of this abuse constantly. It is just going through divorce court.
Miller, his ex-father-in-law, Ohio Republican Senator Bernie Moreno, accuses him of abusing his daughter, abusing his granddaughter. And Moreno says Miller should resign, but President Trump just disagreed with that. Take a listen.
It's a very sad thing. I know Max, he's a good person. I mean, I always thought he was a very good person.
He's a good person? He admits, without realizing it, to throwing water on his wife. I didn't think that the water hurt you. Okay. But he's a good person.
And I'm going to let the families figure that out. It's a very sad thing, especially when you know somebody so well, to be going through that. But it's accusations, and I'm going to let them figure that out.
Congressman, just about 30 seconds left in show before I pass the baton on to the next hour. But do you think Max Miller should step down?
No, look, I agree with the president. This is a family fight. Unfortunately, divorces are messy. Parents get protective over their children and their grandchildren, and there are two sides to every story. There'll be an investigation, but ultimately, who's going to have the final say on what this race looks like will be the voters. So they will ultimately be able to cast their vote. If they feel like this needs to have a change in that seat in Ohio, they'll do it. But again, I agree with the president. This is a messy, emotional situation, and unfortunately, there's no clear winner right now how it's being handled.
Just tell him he shouldn't be in office. That's easy. That's the least you could do. Tell him figure out your messy life and that you shouldn't be in Congress. It's a wild take. But it gets worse. We're back to Senator Husted. I can't stand him, by the way, just in case anybody doesn't know. I can't stand him for him saying that people who receive SNAP benefits don't know how to budget, when that's literally all you do. Don't know if you've ever received SNAP. It's now a card where you get a certain set amount every month. I don't even get it anymore. We don't qualify anymore. You literally, the entirety of living on SNAP is budgeting. That's the entirety of it. So Senator Husted is a piece of shit. But here he is being asked, should Max Miller be called to withdraw?
Yeah, before we go, Senator, I do want to bring up something that you saw Mike Carter, our White House reporter, talking about from the North Lawn. A troubling story there from your home state. Axios, I know, reporting.
Finna, you're saying, is it a good thing if you don't qualify? You would think so, because you would think that it means that I make enough to be able to fund groceries, but right now it's been tight. It's been tight. Everybody is having issues in this country trying to feed their families. Everybody is having issues with food. So, yeah, Blue, it's expensive to be poor. You have to know how to budget. What I will say is what SNAP was giving us was not enough to cover the entirety of our food. We still had to buy food with our own money, right? But what I will say is it was a good supplemental. This is personal, I know it's anecdotal, but I have one child who will eat everything, including mussels. I don't even eat mussels. And I have a very picky child who eats Lunchables and doesn't eat school lunch. So that becomes expensive, and it was just a nice subsidy to be able to help my family not feel like we're drowning trying to feed my kids. But I don't have it anymore. It is what it is. But to sit here, Senator Husted, to sit here and say that people who receive these benefits don't know how to budget is silly to me. It's not even silly. Fuck that. It's not silly. It's harmful. It's harmful. But anyway, back to them asking him about Max Miller.
Talking about from the North Lawn, a troubling story there from your home state. Axios, I know, reporting President Trump called Republican Ohio Congressman Max Miller, who faces abuse allegations by his ex-wife and the daughter of your Senate colleague, Bernie Moreno. The president reportedly told Miller that his election is in trouble. Meanwhile, Politico reporting multiple Republican senators, including Senator Moreno, Shelley Moore Capito, Roger Marshall, Lisa Murkowski, calling upon Miller to step down from his reelection. And it should be noted, Congressman Miller denies all of these allegations. And of course, Democrats are targeting that race. I did want to know, though, whether you think Congressman Miller should seek reelection or withdraw before next week's deadline.
Well, look, I'm very saddened by the whole situation for everyone. I know all the families involved, and let's focus on letting them sort through this at a family level. The political ramifications, I think, will work themselves out. But I just personally am sad about the situation, and and I hope that the president's intervention can help move things along.
All right, Senator John Husted.
His intervention, how is that going to help the fact that his ex-wife is accusing him of abuse and that he pretty much admits to in his fucking video? What are we talking about? Steve, you make a great point on YouTube. You said, what does it say about the people if Max gets elected? Exactly. These same people who will be voting for him in Ohio are the same people who voted for Trump. Found liable of sexual abuse with 27 other allegations, admitted to it himself that he moves on them like a bitch. He doesn't even wait. He just starts kissing them, grab them by the pussy. So, I'm not shocked at how men treat women. Not shocked by that at all. No, I don't have that one. I don't know that I really have anything that I can get into that's not going to take up the entirety of the time. I can play this again. This was funny. This one made me laugh. We can play it again. Yes, this was a real phone call.
I got 3 suggestions for you. Number one, there was an essay in the Washington Post, make American the official language of America, not English. I think you ought to look at that because it's a good idea.
All right.
No, I got 3.
Make American the official language, not English. American. Mia.
Hi.
Hi.
Now, sensitive topic, but men are sensitive, whatever. This is what we mean by like when men like to come up and be like, yeah, men are protectors. We're protectors. Yeah, you protect other men.
Yeah.
Well, he's a good guy. So we'll just see how this plays out rather than holding men accountable. And this is what it's all men means because you continue to protect men. And
no, you know which one's pissing me off? It's a family matter.
Yes. Yeah. Because even those are the people that tell their spouses, their children, you don't talk to people about what goes on inside this house. Those are the people that don't want sex education in school. So, and the reason why sex education in school is important is because you need to know what good touches and bad touches are.
Yep.
Because no, that doesn't mean somebody loves you. So that's a big thing that people need to realize. Men need to realize. Men centering women. That sounds weird, but the women who center men.
Right.
Like you all need to realize, like when you sit there and say, "Oh, but like you don't know him like I do," da 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 da. Well, that means it could go the opposite way. You're not the one laying in bed next to this person, or you're not the one that shares like proximity to this person when the cameras aren't present, when it's not just the Ring camera. The text messages that get sent and unsent. It doesn't, just because that's what presents, because there's a thing called masking, which is very prevalent in abuse and narcissism. I want you all to know, you sitting there saying, "Oh, he would never, I talk to him on the phone every month," is diabolical. Like absolutely diabolical. And that is the problem when we say it's all men.
Just this idea, like, get this. You're just proving the point. You're just proving the point that it's all men. You're just proving the point that we are centered around a society of men, protecting men, seeking the validation of other men at the harm of women.
Yep. at the harm of women, children, and other men.
Yeah.
Flat out, like, and other men. Like, I want y'all to understand that, like, I'm gonna go on a whole nother rant. I want y'all to understand that, like, when you guys are being homophobic and transphobic when it comes to service members, removing don't ask, don't tell actually saved a lot of men from SA. I have bars. Oh no. But it saved a lot of men from SA because men were getting SA'd at higher or reporting at higher rates than women once don't ask, don't tell went away. Because that is how leadership would hold it against them if they were sexually assaulted. Oh, well, if you tell, I'm just going to tell them that you're gay. Then you're going to get kicked out and lose your benefits. So now you're doubly the victim.
And even that is also masked misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It is this idea that anything that comes off as femininity is weak. Having the ability to be SA'd is feminine and weak for some reason to these people. And so that in and of itself is fucking misogyny, and it's harming you as well.
Yep. So when we sit there and we're saying like, yeah, believe women, we are saying, hey, men are harmful. When we say men are not protectors, because when it comes down to it, who are you protecting from?
Yeah, what do we
Typically
need protection
men.
from? Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is stop protecting men and people would be so much safer. People, humans, children, women, and other men. My whole thing with y'all and being so against like femininity and shit, which shout out to the Scots, because them motherfuckers, anyway, y'all know y'all could be walking around in muumuus and just letting the breeze flow. Instead, you want some sweaty, sticky balls. And that is because of your toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
You could live in comfort. But y'all have to be manly and wear these tight ass fucking whitey tighties and shit.
And it's more manly for you to wash your ass. It's so much more manly if you wash your ass.
2020, like, okay, since y'all been fucking talking about Fauci and shit, let's talk about this fucking epidemic. I know it's 2:00.
My 400,000 tappers.
You did it!
I'm so proud of you guys.
People are getting lucky this weekend.
With soap. Yes, Z-Spark. With soap.
I want y'all to know during 2020, there were men getting on this app saying they don't wash or wipe their ass because it was gay to be close to their asshole. I want you all to know that. That is how toxic masculinity or the myth of masculinity is. That they were so afraid to scrub that motherfucker that they were just walking around with just fucking dingleberries.
So gross. Just itchy ass all day.
And no, I'm not wearing pants, huh, bub? Thank you very much. Second day in a row on a live, no pants, bitch. All right, congratulations, Bonnie. You deserve it all. And thank you for covering the women's health.
Of course. I want more of that. I just need to find more videos like it so that I can get into it. PBS is really good with it, but I want to find more.
I got you. If anything, if you need to find anything PBS, we already know.
Yeah.
Fucking Calypso be deep diving on that fucking PBS.
Yeah, we need to start shitting on men again. I think it's time to rage bait them again. It's been too long.
I'm telling you. Get them with that, I'm just a man.
I love you, Mia. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you guys for hitting that 400,000 like mark. I appreciate it so very much. I never stopped. Well, to be fair, so Lala, what happens is I don't stop rage baiting men, but having it as a background, I took a break. I took a break. It is, because it gets exhausting. It gets tiring to try to explain to them how they're hurting women and children, which should be enough. It should be enough. But it's not. You have to explain how it's hurting them, and it's really annoying to have to coddle them for them to realize their own harm. So sometimes I have to take breaks from those conversations, but I'm always willing to have them, for sure. So thank you guys so much again for the 400,000 likes. Holy fucking shit. That is amazing. Most likes I've ever gotten. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it. Who are we going to rate on TikTok? Twitchy, I'm probably going to send you to RTP because that's where we go. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for the follows. I see that I got some new ones as well. Uptown, is it Daedalus? I hope I pronounced that right. I'm so sorry if I didn't. I appreciate you. I hope I got all my thumbs up on YouTube, you hate watchers. You haters. And also you lovers. I see the people who choose to watch me on YouTube that actually support me. Good for you. Because you be going through the trenches in order to support me, through the trash to support me. And so I appreciate you. Good for you. The real patriots, for sure. I will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. And I will see you guys then. Thank you, Twitch and YouTube, for all of your support. I appreciate it. I clicked it. I clicked that one. That's the one I want. Daedalus? Okay. I don't know. I said day. Yeah, I said day. I don't know if I said it. I'm sorry. It's my fault. Twitch and YouTube, goodbye. I will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m.